Blog Talk Radio.
And welcome to Legal Name Fraud Radio, getting the word out, way outside the box with people worldwide, and setting your mind free. It's been a war for your mind for a long time, and it's kind of nice having the tools now to not fight back and win. It's fun. Anyway, we got a couple of different things we're going to get into tonight. A phone call made earlier today to the UK Electoral Commission, which is really funny. And there's a couple of points during the, you'll hear it for yourself, where it starts to get very sketchy. And to me, it sounded like a program going out of phase. That there was, the program wasn't able to interface with Armand J, you know. Just couldn't do it. But anyway, so there's a bit of a treat coming up very quickly. And I just want to touch on something right out of the gate tonight, guys, as I don't think you all really understand the gravity and the magnitude of what it is you are doing and how critically and absolutely important it is, where we have been taught to be non-believers of ourselves for so very long. And I've had many people I've had lots of different variations of many people, but over the years, I was talking with Rose and Jay about this earlier today. Let's just say I didn't get a lot of sleep. But anyway, all good. The difference that you make with the very seemingly simple things that you do, world altering to a level that when you begin to see the effects of what it is you do on a world scale, that self empowerment comes back in. In as much as someone posting, by the way, how many? We're down to 18 spots left out of 170 something. Yeah, it's been coming in real quick. So, but anyway, I've had a few people mention about thank you for empowering me, Kate, and thank you for being my friend, Kate. I'll tell you what, let's just nullify that. One, in as much as someone sends a friend request, I'm grateful as much that a friendship can be accepted here, let alone offered. So it's a two-way, perfectly balanced one-way street. So thank you. Now, again, we balance this out. I don't play the game of hierarchy. That is the game of fools. That is the game of separation. In as much as someone says, "Hey, can I be your friend?" Of course, you are the kind of individual as a kid that didn't mind going up to other kids and saying, "Hey, can I be your friend?" That's just the nature of the benevolent child. Have a look back over your alpha omega, your life, if you want to call it that, from your alpha point to the ongoing infinite omega point that you are, and look at your true nature. We get so occluded with so many things and so many programs and indoctrinations of competition and hate. Sports competition in school, musical chairs. That's competition. This has been ingrained into each of us so deeply, and it creates such a distortion and such a distraction within our imaginations. And it's a very incipient little program. It just kind of creeps in there, and it eats away very slowly. It's like the boiling frog allegory, where most of humanity has reached that boiling point and didn't even realize they were boiled alive, legal named. Excuse me. And then when you tell them that, they're, for the most part, not anymore though, it's changed quite a bit, the attitude was the water's just fine as the skin is getting boiled off their back. Come on in, the water's great. No thanks. No, that's boiling water and you're the meal. So get back to you and see your true nature. That's why you're here. You wouldn't be here otherwise. It would be illogical. Unless, of course, your intention was purely malicious, and good luck with that. That doesn't work where we come from. Cruella de Vil is powerless, right? So there's no need to kill her, Emma, right? It's a great allegory from the latest Once Upon a Time. Another good movie, by the way. I pack a lot of looking in every day, so it's very good luck trying to keep up. And that's not a try to keep up with me. No, it's I just wish I could share so much more. That's really what it boils down to. The movie The Comet. Boy, oh boy, talk about an anagogic mirror. Have a look at that one. I think it's 2014, The Comet. And of course, there's a couple of spots in it where you see the two suns as well. So, bigger allegory there. Anyway, one of the things that I just want you to know, we are all equal here. This is the common ground. There's no hierarchy here. It's simple acknowledgement of, hey, I see you. Yeah, I see you too. And that's it. Just being you is a show-off, as it is, because that's you, the unique you, standing out in the proverbial crowd where everyone stands out and no one stands out at the same time. I used to use that allegory with the band. I'll lay down the rhythm and melody, whatever, dance in it, do your thing. Mike drumming or John on bass or Sam on guitar. And they always took their creative liberties. And that was the whole intent, And it always just seemed to work. Everyone got into the same feel, the same groove, same melodies, and had their own thing to do with it. And that's effectively what we do here. It's just a bigger band, that's all. It involves quite a swath of humanity now. And humanity is awakening to this. So I just want to share this one thought with you guys. I want you to maybe take a minute to be introspective. And, there are many days that you have asked yourself, why do I do this? And, did I make the... I do that every day. Well, not so much now. But it's still something there that is constantly being addressed within me, Or am I doing the right thing? Is this, and on and on and on it goes. But it's a very simple thing to sum up. And you're going to, especially for any newer people, a lot of the older stalwarts, Napoleon's Imperial Guard types, right? Seen many battles, veterans of many experiences within this legal name fraud exposure that we have been so diligently ripping to shreds to remove the whore of Babylon from this place. This just gets so big so quickly. For the newer ones coming in, you've likely experienced the derision from your family, the mocking by your friends, the disbelief from, the vast majority of people around you, that in a very large way makes you sort of feel like out of place and a bit of a stick in the mud, huh? Yeah. Well, that's the thing about a stick in the mud. At least a stick in the mud you can see. Right? And then you can sit back and ask yourself these questions of why you do these things. Excuse me. There's a greater purpose to it. You've noticed that. You've also run into a lot of resistance from those that you love, people you've known your entire life or for many years, dedicated friends, supposedly, family, co-workers. In the case of people that finally found that the Roman Church is actually a church of Satan and walked away, there are many that have walked that road and brought their truth to light. And for the rest of us to have a look at it and go, yeah, I kind of thought the same thing. Different point of view, but yeah, I see where you're, yeah, okay, I can work with that because it resonates. And one of the things I've noticed about this dark principality is it likes to use the most beautiful things and turn them into the most poisonous. The whole idea of the, quote, church, unquote, and this beautiful magnificence of Jesus, the Savior, and this beautiful, eloquent story of, self-sacrifice and la 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 and on and on and on. And they attach the Bible to it, and they read the literal stories literally that are not meant to be read literally at all, and sell people on it. And when you, myself, those of us that looked at that and scratched our heads more times than we could count, said there's something wrong with this, and we turned our back on it. While at the same time, the attachment of disdain that you have for the parasitical Philistines, the Pharisees and the scribes, the Gentile false Jews, that disdain of that putrid, most putrid garbage, child rapers, hierarchies, kiss my finger, kiss my ass kind of thing. And when we left that most filthy of cesspools, we left behind a most beautiful tool. And that's by design, to make damn sure that if you ever leave religion, you connect the book to it. And that's the trick of the tail in that one, in that book, as many other all other things that I've read are telling you the same thing once you know how to read these things. So they make you run from the truth giving you the illusion that it's all a lie, and when in fact it's a duality creation field. That's why it's called a bi-bull. Bi meaning two, bull meaning Taurus field. So it's two creation fields, and contained within that black and white book, white pages, black ink, you have the truth, absolute, and the lie, absolute. And the false Jews, anyone that would claim to be a robed minister of any fucking stripe or whatever, is a false Jew, is a fallen one. And to whatever degree that they are duped or innocent, that's going to be their own soul to sort out. And I got to tell you, there's a couple of things, watching with these supposed ministers talking about the Word of God and this and that and the other. And then, of course, they'll talk about this video clip, and right below it, if you want to see the original video clip of this individual, minimum donation of $20. I mean, these people can't fucking wait to sell you their grandmother. They look great in their suits and ties and their big studios and all the rest of it. And then, of course, talking about their undying love and support for Israel, that the U.S. must, it's pure fucking filth. Pure filth. And these are the things that you, I, the rest of us that are doing this are taking down en masse. This is not a small occurrence now. This is worldwide. I mean, you can gauge it in the earthquakes, sun activity, the political disarray, collapsing systems. Everything has been ramped up. And that's called, forcing the hand. And what we have, and what I'm going to share, I just want to share this one thing to make sure that you know how important you are. One vote changes everything. If but one shall awaken. And that's you, that's me, individually and collectively. And when two or more are gathered in my presence, as the story goes, order is established. It's an agreed upon. An idea comes into full force and effect when there's an agreement to it. And an idea is destroyed when the lie is seen and the disagreement goes into place. That's why you're seeing this world bullshit fall down around its own ankles. So I just want to remind you guys, as I remind myself every day, why we do these things, why we have done this, why we have decided to defy all logic of a normal programmed reality, going through from cradle to grave, doing all of these silly things in between, school, family, marriage, holidays, and all, year after year after year. And the only thing that changes year after year is a year older, a year dumber, and a year more programmed. And we stepped out of that. So just a thought for all of you. And this is something I sent out that I like to do on occasion, just to, let the family, friends, and whatever of past know I get it. I totally get this. And no, it wasn't an easy road. But for you, it's worth it. Unconditional love. Where it has long been thought by many that humanity was here to learn unconditional love, few took it upon themselves to, through their selfless actions, teach it. One learns unconditional love only through the selfless teaching of it. So to those closest to me in my life, I know you didn't know why I was doing what I was doing, but rest assured, the time is upon us that soon you will. In that moment, you will know unconditional love when your eyes meet mine. Yes, I love you this much. It's unconditional. I came here to teach you this as I found it in myself first. Love is unconditional and one conditional, found only in the golden rule. Know thyself. That which you wish upon another, you have wished upon yourself. And more you're seeing this play out in your own life. The more you understand these things within yourself, the more peaceful it gets around you. And the only conflict you're going to have around you is that which you have within yourself and concern yourself with. Whatever. Just go with the flow. See where it goes from there, So don't shy away from the importance of the work that you're doing and just fluff it off as something, what you are doing right now is some of the most profound profound shit in all known history. Humanity has finally, for the first time, its opportunity to set itself free once and for all. And that's a ring that I will never let fall. So just to let you know that. One other little point again regarding posting on my page. Again, be mindful what you post. Do not post a biased, one-sided, this means this evil or this means this good. Show both sides of it. Because all you're doing is propagating the divided duality, seeing good or evil versus good and evil. And it's going to take a little bit to, break free of that program. I know it took a while for me. And while I get the intent and funness of it, I left it up here long enough to remind myself of why I delete these things, especially as I've asked people to not tag me on anything at all. I do not wish contracts from you. I don't play tag, you're it. Okay? And again, I'm going to show you how dangerous these little posts can be and what it is you are saying. And it goes something like this. Aspire to inspire before you expire. Which is an alpha-omega cycle. That is programming death. It's a death contract you're putting up. Before you expire is the assumption of death. So I would simply ask you, what are you selling here? And again, one more tag, you're out. Okay? So don't fucking do it. By all means, share an original idea of what you have learned about yourself and how you're seeing things differently. And whoa, yeah, that stuff. This other crap, the regurgitation of somebody else's bullshit and then trying to throw it at me, not a good idea, because I'm just going to throw that right back at you. And you don't want me throwing back before you expire. Really, you don't. And you see the power of thought? Yeah, it felt real because it is real. So don't do it. You have no idea the power you wield. That's why you're kind of in that stupor of figured out. Because you're powerless until you lose the vengeance. You are powerless until you lose the vengeance. You are powerless until you lose the vengeance. It's an important thing. That's why I said it 3 times. Just to make sure the idea sinks in. While you have vengeance, you are powerless. And once you lose the vengeance, you realize that power is nothing you need anyway. It's just something you are. You don't seek it. You don't need to. Kind of hard to seek that which you are. Pointless, too. Don't you think? I thought so, too. But anyway, BTR listener tonight is 057. Thanks, guys. And the call-in number, I'm going to get this recording going now. I want to do a little preemptive to this. Again, it's things like this that I'm going to share with you that have such a profound and huge effect on the overall consciousness. And when we go to the table and share these things that you do, as I do these things, so do you, we all get to share in it and go, hey, that's kind of cool. And as I was saying to Ninja and Jay earlier today, there's got to be that one thing in you that resonates, that you feel that you can, you can and you will and you have to do something about this. There's just something that it hits you and there's no stopping you. It's like hitting that last high note. Ding! There you go. And you take it downtown from there. It's I've had enough point, and there's something that you see that is very familiar that, hey, I know that arena really well. I'm going to step in there because I really know that arena. And that's what you do. It wouldn't be useful if everyone did the same thing. We all had the same job. You know what I mean, throughout our life experience? And that's exactly what this program does. It wants you to have that same mindset. But it wouldn't be able to cover the entire gauntlet of reaching others that are in your particular mindset. your clique kind of thing, people that you click with, because you get along, right? Anyway, I just like to hang out with everybody. Way more to learn there. So, anyway, a little, excuse me, I did a tiny setup on this anyway when recorded it earlier today with Jay and Rose, a.k.a. Ninja. It's Ninja these days because those blades are just swiping, guys. It's beautiful. This was a call that Jay had made to the UK Electoral Commission. And it gets a bit sketchy at some points, and just listen for the out of phase of the program. Not able to cope with it. It's sort of like a hologram that goes sort of, max headroom, that sort of thing. It's a very interesting energy when the call that they're in breaks up. For no other reason than that sounds like a program getting a bit messy. The veil, if you will, it's getting a little shaky. Yeah. I have my own experience with that, so when I feel it or sense it, I know what it is, and this is quite the computer short out for Big Ed, Edgar, the editor. Yeah, the broken program. All right, so this is J.C. calling into the Electoral Commission, and it runs for 13 minutes, 21 seconds. Christ mind and Trinity, I love it. So sit tight, and we'll get the mics open after this so we can have a little chat about it. But I want you to remember one scene in Star Wars when the vote of no confidence was cast that took down the entire structure of the Star Wars Senate. Guys, these are not just movies. These are layouts of the same fractal. And I pay attention because you have to use your sixth sense. Well, put your life in there. It's sixth sense. And if you can spot the Sith through your sixth sense, you can spot the one that connected to it. I'll get into that a bit after this as well. Play the game of Spot the Demon. It's easy. You'll love it. So here's JC calling into the Electoral Commission. We'll have a chat after this, and we'll see you on the other side. All right, what we're going to play for you now is a phone call to the Electoral Commission in the United Kingdom, where they have been duly notified and duly blackballed with the only vote that actually matters being cast against them. Jane Doe -755. This will be a lot clearer as soon as I hear the whole thing, but I kind of know where it's going. But I just want to say a great big thank you to Jay that took the time to do this and really lift Thor's hammer and make the system really Thor. It's nothing like putting your testicles across the bar, and that's what happened here. So I'm going to get you to have a listen to this, and we'll have your thoughts after. So if you want to hit play, rock and roll.
For staff training purposes, the recording will cease once you are transferred. Hello, Electoral Commission?
Yeah, hi. You were sent some emails on Saturday evening regarding NameGate. Do you know anything about that?
I'm not from the switchboard, I'm afraid. Are you trying to reach a particular person?
Well, it's electoral fraud. What has been made apparent is that every voter in the UK is voting illegitimately. So I need to. You've been made aware of this definitely by two individuals. One called God and the other one called Jane Doe 755, who is an honourable citizen of the City of London. So her vote is legitimate. Everybody else is not. So I need to speak to whoever your boss is, because we need to get this election called off, because anybody using a legal name is using it fraudulently. That being the case, yeah, it is my gosh, because it's true. That being the case, you guys need to get your shit together, really, because it's been a fraud that's been ongoing now for about 200 years. Were you aware of the legal name fraud?
Not personally, no. I'm just going to put you through to the information point. Thank you.
Okay.
party, a candidate, an agent, or a political campaigner, then please press 2. If you've got a query about running elections or electoral registration services, then please press 3. For anything else, please press 4.
Yeah, hi. Who would I speak to about electoral fraud?
Electoral fraud? Could you just clarify what you mean by that?
Sorry?
Can you just clarify what you mean?
Yeah, I can clarify what I mean. Have you? I'm guessing you represent the Electoral Commission, so you need to be made aware of this. Are you aware that any and all use of a legal name is fraudulent? Therefore, everybody who is registering to vote is doing it fraudulently in the actually in the UK, but worldwide. Were you aware of that? That the legal name, i.e. the name on everybody's voting ticket, is held and owned by the Crown Corporation City of London. That being the case, that everybody is voting fraudulently. The only people that are entitled to vote, and you have received an email from one of these entitled voters or card-carrying members, i.e. barristers, or honourable citizens of the City of London. You've received an email from Jane Doe-755, who is a bar-card-carrying honourable member of the City of London with an entitlement to vote. I'm speaking in her voice today. In her voice, which means well, I've just given you the data. So what we need to do is, now that the Electoral Commission has been made aware of this, you are acting fraudulently if you don't call this election off.
You said you received an email from a Jane Doe. Do you know what you sent the email?
Jane Doe-755. You were also sent a second email, a first email from now. That email was from Creation itself, and Go on, sorry. I'm really being quite antagonised in a way by the way that guys like yourself within this system are unaware of this fraud. You need to be made aware of it, my friend, because you're being sold down the river.
Okay. Can I just clarify? You said that this is Jane Doe-755.
Yes. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that it was, well, I'm not sure, it was Jane Doe-755 at gmail.com. It was sent by another individual, but I'm calling on behalf and in the voice of Jane Doe today.
Okay, wait, I found the email.
Okay, so if you have a read of that, this is a scandal that was uncovered on Saturday called Namegate. If you read the documentation, you'll see that each voter's registration is fraudulent, as a legal name ID is used in order to register. Therefore, the reason I'm reading it is that now that the Electoral Commission are aware of this, you being part of the Electoral Commission, to act in honour, you must resign from that job, because you're same as I was kidded and conned. I thought I was a legal name. I wasn't. That's owned by the Crown. That's how the system of slavery works. And to be quite frank with you, none of these people that have ever been voted into authority have the legitimate right to be there. It's on fraudulent votes. The only citizens that are legally now, forget about morally or from the actual true source of all creation, the rights of the individuals. And if people with the legitimate rights to vote are people, but bear in mind, are members of the bar. This individual I'm ringing up on behalf is a bar member, and her vote is completely legitimate. And in her voice, I don't want non-legitimate votes voting in this election. That being the case, what are you going to do about it?
Okay. I mean, we need to consult with a colleague, which is public information. This needs to be reviewed by colleagues in our electoral administration team. We haven't seen the email.
Sorry, my friend, could you speak up? I can't hear you very well. It's very, very low.
Yes, of course. Yeah. You've come through to public information. I'm going to need to consult with colleagues on this email, Jane Doe's email, and what we need to do.
Okay.
Colleagues in electoral administration will need to look at this. Not legal team will need to look at this. I can't give you a response.
Well, I'm not making a claim. I'm stating a fact. There's a huge difference here. Okay. So again, let me just clarify something to yourself. You as an individual, no problem with. But whilst you're still thinking you're a legal name, then you're acting in deceit as well. Now, that being the case, I've got to be very careful because people acting on a lie don't even know that they're deceiving themselves. So what I need to know from you is, now that you've got this fact in house, that any and all use of the legal name and any and all voting on that legal name is fraudulent, then the Electoral Commission, this is a huge scandal. The Electoral Commission it can do nothing else or else it acts in dishonour. If it continues with this election, you're acting in dishonour. Everybody who works there is acting in dishonour. The whole Electoral Commission is acting in dishonour. And the whole election and anybody voted into what you call office is actually voted in illegitimately. Once the fraud is revealed, then it's null and void. Prior to this, we didn't know this. We were conned into thinking we were this legal name. For us to be milk dry in this world to be destroyed. Right? That is exactly how it works. So now that you know this, what I need to know is not what the Electoral Commission is going to do. You as an individual, a human being, a part of creation, what are you going to do? Personally, now that you know this, what are you going to do for yourself?
What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask our legal team to review this information that you provided, and I'll ask the Electoral Administration to review this information that you provided, and I'll ask them for a response.
Well, you know, this fine. I'm going to get off the phone soon, but I mean, what I need to know is how are you going to respond back to Jane Doe? Are you going to give a full and frank response via email?
It will be an email response. What I'll need to do is I believe Jane Doe's emailed a number of teams across the Commission. So what will happen, we'll probably get some form of coordinated response. And like some kind of information in terms of the response. The reason why I say that is it's likely to involve a number of officers across the Commission.
Yeah.
And as I mentioned, you've come to public information now here today. So unfortunately I'm not able to respond to this.
Okay.
In isolation.
I understand. I do understand, and thank you very much. I think that's really very genuine of you that you're going to be doing that. So, it's one of these things, you know, when a fraud like this is revealed, it's something that rocks the world. And now that you guys know about this, you've got yourself in a position where you must rectify this, or things will be, you know, it's just in my mind, it's flabbergasted when I found out about this and realised the truth behind it. The whole system of legality is based on an initial crime, and the crime is that people step into a legal name. So the minute somebody becomes a legal name, they're a criminal, and the system knows this, but it doesn't tell them this. It is a complete and utter swindle of the highest order, and we're talking the highest order. We are talking the order of what you may call God, the order of creation. Creation has been swindled, and creation is coming back with a vengeance. The Electoral Commission needs to know that this is now burning the Babylonian system. Babylon's gone. This system is finished. Just so that you're aware of that. So, what I need to know, on behalf of Jane Doe, 755, honourable citizen, a legitimate voter in this fraudulent election, a legitimate voter, that vote that might be cast needs to be cast within a legitimate regime, and by allowing anybody with an illegitimate legal name to vote, then we've got a real serious problem. So you guys know about this now, and if you would promise me a full and frank response to janedoe-755gmail.com, will you do that for me?
Yes, what I can say is that I'll certainly liaise with colleagues across the Commission and answer a response to this email. This response is likely to come from public information, as I mentioned. A number of colleagues have been copied into this email. I cannot say what's going to happen in terms of logistics, but I certainly will liaise with colleagues just to let them know that you've called in relation to this email and to answer a full and frank response.
No problem. Thank you very much for your time. Very much appreciated. And we look forward to the response from the Electoral Commission. You take care.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you very much.
And that's that.
You're welcome.
And this goes a lot bigger than most people are going to realize. And, of course, we'll talk about that as soon as I finish doing the recording here so that I can start talking. And it'll sound like it's just me in the now anyway. So, hey, Kate, take over. Okay, Kate. Okay, I can take over now. Thanks, Kate. Funny how the now works, isn't it? It's almost like, yeah. Anyway, a few things to go over on this one. It's BTR listener 029 tonight, guys. Sorry about that. All good. Anyway, you figured it out. I don't know why I bother. For those that do want to call in, you can call in at 347-637-3265. We urge everybody to call in, of course, newer people especially, help you get your sea legs in place here. A couple of points that I definitely want to cover. For those that want to jump in the call, all you have to do is hit 1 on the dial pad to let me know that you're interested in talking. That's on the Skype dial pad. Hit 1 there, or on the telephone. That lets me know that you're interested in coming in here. So a couple of points I want to bring up and get all these mics opened up. You see, here's the fundamental fraud that's going on here. This is an absolute conflict of interest, setting up all of the votes illegally to make sure that it doesn't matter who votes because they don't have a vote anyway. So it's an absolute conflict of interest in the illusion. If someone is claiming to say they're going to have power over another, well, that has to be through consent, full disclosure consent. Otherwise, it's just a simple lie and deception. So deception to gain power in this manner, it has the built-in conflict of interest. There was the intent to deceive. All votes at this point ever cast in this reality are null and void. Where deception, intent to deceive, renders all prior contracts dissolved as fraud, ab initio, ad infinitum, nunc pro tunc, tunc pro nunc. And remember this as well, all emails or anything that you send out, phone call when you're talking, these are all contracts. Someone has a telephone and they pick it up to answer it, that is an agreement to contract. Doesn't matter what's going to be said on the other end, you've already agreed to the contract by picking the phone up. In the same way that all texts and everything else that come to me are all contract that I am constantly and very vigilantly aware of to make sure that I have no contracts with anyone. So I just did a bit of a swath. I will pick and choose the truth as I see the truth, not based on what anybody says, but what is being actually said in the most literal sense, broken down. Anyway, so here we got JC coming in. Anybody else to jump in? I'd love to hear from. This is a big kettle of fish that got stirred, and I can only imagine the effect of the dominoes. And again, I don't even have to imagine. I just sit back and wait for the fireworks. They show up all by themselves. Hey Jay, how's it going?
It's going all right. It was nice to listen back to the call again. And I think it's well, I don't think I know it's hugely significant. It would seem to me anyway that, and I suppose it's with hindsight the reason that I chose to make the call, because it's okay for thinking about it now. It's all right for me to, which hasn't happened and it won't happen, but to get stopped by a policeman and say it's not my name, that's fine, and it's absolutely correct. But this is it seemed to me when I found out what Ninja done on Saturday night that I sent this email from God to them, so they got an email, and then Jane Doe sent her email, and this morning I just thought I would phone them up and find out how are they getting on with cancelling the election now that they know this, because it's massively significant, and anybody else listening shouldn't do anything if they don't want to, but we should all follow that up now, because maybe that's one hammer swung, but a couple of thousand hammers swinging at the same thing at the same time from many different angles. That's how something collapses. So that's the start of that's the
spark. hang on, Jay. Let's bring that back a little bit, because it's not about thousands. It is about the one.
Yeah.
And this is the point. I really need everyone to get the power of the one. I'm not going to hand this off to thousands. I am grateful in the individual one of all of those that are doing that one thing that is changing all of consciousness all by itself, where the rest of us that agree along and see, yeah, that's a good idea, go along with it, it establishes it. So the power of one works something like this. You call into an electoral commission office today. I heard two distinctly different voices that were notified of the legal name fraud, the name gate, Jane Doe-755. Now, I'm going to show you the power of one. Do they talk to anybody else? Yes. Do you know how wars start? It's where one individual gets it in their head to have a war, and because there's an illusion of power built into them through this vaulting system of deception, everyone goes along with it. Congress declares war. And that was one individual's stupid, shitty idea to make sure that the war would happen. And humanity bought into it. So that is the power of one. So no longer do we hand this off to thousands making a difference. No, you made the difference. Everyone else is establishing the order of that difference as being a good idea. And don't diminish the power of one.
No,
it's a huge thing. Knock the dominoes over, yeah.
Yeah, and I certainly wasn't doing that with myself. I recognise that, and I recognised this properly last year when, it's like, who is going to stand up and be counted? And, well, there's only me that can stand up and be counted. And if I stand up and be counted, and that then is the thing that changes my world completely, so that therefore changes the complete world that I live in completely. So it's that whatever it sounds like. It's that concept of being God, really, in a non-egotistical way. It's a concept of being the self that is part of it is a drop from the creation field. So therefore it is creation. Therefore it is God. Therefore it's in my heart. Therefore it is me. So therefore if that is the case, then don't roam around in your head, why I want somebody to do something about this, why I want somebody to do something about that, which does go on in my head sometimes, not so often now. Last August I took the decision that, I stood there on a hillside somewhere, and I took the decision, looking at the countryside, and I thought, you've got to do it, you have to. So I opened my mouth to the hills and let them know that if nobody else will stand there and take that role, I will, for me, and whatever. So I totally get what you're saying there. So I do get what you're saying. I suppose it was just encouraging other individuals to be that one for themselves,
Well, that's exactly it. And not to diminish the power of the one in the illusion that you need thousands to do this. No, you need one. I will go back and reflect at myself. Have I, as an individual, made an impact on this planet? You're fucking right, I have, and I can see it, and that's what everyone needs to see for themselves. Yes, you have. Look, and you'll see. We got Ninja in here too, by the way. Just
yeah, hi.
Hi, Ninja.
Hi, Jay. Hi, Kate. Hi, everybody. Wow, what a wonderful day it's been today. Another wonderful day of truth sharing and truth bomb delivery. I wanted to talk about the point that's just been raised about about the one, and obviously Jay's aware of that, Kate and I are aware of that, and it is true there need only be one. And that email that was sent for Jane Doe-755 that Jay was talking about, that was sent and it really only included the information from the NameGate website, so it just covers those points that anybody can read in that website. But then it finishes off with a recommendation, obviously with Babylon is Fallen included, and then it says, and I quote what was written there, this writer is aware and has proof that at least one other email communication of this same information was sent to UK Electoral Commission today, and receipt was confirmed via auto-reply service. There will be more communications of this nature, though there need be only one, and I put one in capital letters. Notice to principal is notice to agent, ...
Okay. Okay, you're dragging me with this. Stop. See the power of this. How many people are involved in Jane Doe-755?
7.5 million?
Billion.
Sorry, did I say million? Billion. Yeah, slip of the tongue.
Okay. When Jane Doe-755 is utilized, it is utilized with those that know what it is in terms of it being a beautiful little bar card tool, an honorable citizen of the City of London that must uphold the laws for all citizens of the City of London. And it's got a bit of an edge, too, because there's no poisonous bar card attached to it. See the conflict of interest here? Sorry, cast with that one vote with Jane Doe-755 is one vote of non-confidence against all votes in government ever in one fell swoop. Now, tell me the power of one. That's the power you all wield. You are speaking with the benevolent voice of humanity. I mean, these are anvils getting dropped on egg cartons, guys. Get big. See how big this is. It's beautiful.
It's huge. Jane Doe is the tool. She is the one.
It's a final. What we're doing is this is the what was the battle? Varus, the lost legions of Rome, where Varus was forced into a bottleneck, and that's what Jane Doe-755 is. It forces everything through that one bottleneck that is only big enough for one grain of sand, and it chokes it dead. Like this, guys, I just love sitting back watching. When I see someone do something, I sit back and observe, and I go, oh, okay, this should be an interesting one. Don't know what's going to come out of it, but I know there was a big domino there. And, of course, I watch the dominoes. I don't have any thoughts or considerations on the outcome, where my only intent and purpose is to take it all down. So every little bit that comes down is exactly the fulfillment of that intent, to whatever degree creation says, here, okay, well, this is what you guys have accomplished, let's rip that down. And I just simply go, okay, and then see what happens, see how we can enhance that for the next time. And that's all I'm doing. I just adjust. This is the battlefield of the consciousness. You take your, quote, vengeful attack, go in, and then it's like a skirmish. You get in, and then you maneuver. And while the enemy is trying to figure out what the hell just happened, you're over somewhere else, popping another landmine in. And then you go somewhere else, and you're like a firefly in consciousness. It's beautiful. You set fires everywhere. That's all I did. I set them everywhere. It didn't matter to me whether it was on a Rothschild desk or a International Monetary Fund or Buckingham fucking Palace. I didn't care. I was going to set fires in the Vatican, London, D.C., Switzerland, all over this planet. And that was it. There's no point in just sitting back. Get the word out, and here we all are. Have we not all been doing this? Yes?
Yeah. And it's not funny, but I watched before the BBC News tonight, and they were chattering on about, but because it's just on the literal now, and on the fraudulent election that's taking place, it's very different for them at the moment, because it seems quite chaotic with all these different parties and things. So there's three of these people sat there, all chewing the fat about if such a body gets in and such a body gets in with somebody else, then he's going to be claimed that he's an illegitimate prime minister. So I just look, they're already talking about the illegitimacy in a different way, but they're talking about already today, talking about the illegitimacy of whoever's going to be the prime minister, because none of them are going to get enough illegal votes to claim illegally that they are a voted-in prime minister. So what's happening from my perspective is the whole thing has already collapsed, and that with Jane Doe going in and just wielding her one vote, which is one honourable vote. It could be 50 billion dishonourable votes. The one honourable vote wipes all those out. Jane Doe stated today, Jane Doe stated that the whole thing is illegitimate. They're already beginning to talk now in the Matrix about the illegitimacy of the government.
Jace, just one sec. In terms of the word illegitimate, I prefer illegal. In that illegitimate is a bastard child. We already know the bastard child. Okay. So it's about differentiating between conceptuals. Because when I see illegitimate, I'm going to the gamete intrafallopian transfer. I'm always in the womb on this stuff, right? To see how they're the child, right? So this is a vote of no. Do you know what a vote of no confidence is?
Yes. What
does it do to a government?
A vote of no confidence in a government, the government has to be removed.
Dissolves
it. Dissolves it.
Yeah. So here's an idea I had. I thought it was a good idea that we put the power of the vote of no confidence behind Jane Doe -755, and maybe someone else might think that's a good idea too.
I think that's a great idea.
I'm just saying.
I'll third that.
You went to the bother to show the dissolvency and the illegitimacy of the illegal government. It's a bastard child that's illegal of the government. I think that's a great idea, Jay. Rose, you're in on that. That was a good idea, wasn't it? Great plan.
Yeah.
So let's just take it to the next level. We'll go with the vote of non-confidence, and that in and of itself. One vote of non-confidence within any electoral concept dissolves the entire government. That's the world government, by the way. That's all votes. And that's all in-house votes, all of these little musical chair games I like to play. So this is a very large card that got thrown on the table today.
It is. It's huge. It's a full house that got dropped.
Yeah,
on the wicked witch of the West. There's only the red slipper left, isn't there? The little slipper sat out there.
It's all right. Cinderella's getting her slipper back. It's all good. I was reading some nursery rhymes last night. Oh, it's amazing.
Well, it's what we talked about earlier on. Just to be sat on the other side of it now and looking in on it, just how fragile the whole thing is when the truth is revealed. Prior to that, the whole thing appears extremely concrete and real, and this is the way it is, and there is no other way, and blah, 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 and then jump out the legal name. Really let that, I'm talking about myself now, let that sink in that, wow, that is true.
One trick pony.
Okay, let me stand in that a little bit and get comfortable there. Now let me look back and look how fragile it is. Let me just make a phone call, and then let me just think about the phone call I've just made there, and let me see how the whole thing is like. If it was a raving lunatic and that system was rock solid and based on solid foundations, a phone call like that could not have happened. And we talked about that earlier on as well. And it's sort of that it doesn't surprise me, but it was just like, wow, look, they were. I'm not going to say they were quaking in the boots because I don't think they were, but they were certainly taking the whole thing pretty much seriously. I'm going to speak to my colleagues.
Jay, no, that. Both of them. Oh gosh. And I'll talk to my colleagues, and I've copied them into the. It's already been taken seriously. There's no need to even consider that. We talked about the tone of voice that certain people have when they're talking to people, where just in the tone of voice, the other one on the other end of the line is talking to like someone like yourself, in that authoritative tone that you carry. Is already talking to you like yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am, based on that tone. So you've already got the floor at that point. Like these people that you were talking to didn't hear a raving lunatic on the other side of the phone. What they heard was a truly concerned individual exposing the fraud and the magic. Guys, this is yet again one more simple proof of the one trick pony bluff the system has, that when it's revealed, it takes it all down. and that is the legal name. Anything legal in their world, and the only connection anyone on this planet has to that legal world is what? Legal name, birth certificate, the bond. And when you know that you're not that, and that belongs to the crown, it's got nothing to do with you, any money that you think is created with it is being created off your fucking soul, you may want to change your mind on that one. And what happens in that moment is anything that was ever created through that bond attached to you is instantly and absolutely dissolved. You take out a swath of destruction across the entire, quote, wanking, unquote, system. And that's all it is. The power of the one. This one ring that rules them all. They put all of their baskets in this one egg that when you crack this legal name egg open, nothing in their world, and I mean this on the most magical spiritual levels, can harm you. Nothing can harm you. End of. The only thing that will ever harm you is your own vengeance, to seek vengeance. Well, pick a fight, expect one. So don't pick any. Pick your nose if you want to pick something, okay? At least the only chances are you're going to hurt yourself. You know, back of your eye might get itchy, go ahead. But that's the only thing you should ever think about picking. Never a fight. And this is the power of one. Like, during the conversation earlier, of course, I was on the tail end of whatever, like full drift. And I was just giggling. I had to mute. I was giggling listening to this recording, hearing it go out of phase, and oh yeah, the program can't handle this shit, can it? So I'm seeing it from a very different perspective, very outside the box, because the more you get outside the box of this literal reality, the bigger the picture becomes for you, and this literal world dissolves very quickly. Now, don't underestimate the power of the one. And like I said to you earlier, Jay, you know, when you speak to people, same with Ninja and myself, and there's quite a few of us that can call up, Brand or Shocked or whatever, can call up, and there's that air of, and it's not an arrogant authority. What it is the certainty of someone that is running a truth business. And that's another word I shift out a lot, versus creation or God or whatever. I simply say truth. So there's no confusion with truth. There's no stigma or dogmas attached to truth or God or truth as it is with God and creation, based on the programs that people are running, and they're incipient little programs that are ongoing. So anytime I'm referring to God or creation, I make damn sure that all that is a misnomer for truth, just the simple truth. And it takes all the confusion out of what anyone thinks God is or what creation is. It's simply truth. Yeah. And
it was, and in a way, you know, it's just very simple, isn't it? From my perspective, that you know, this election is fraudulent. That's simple. That's the truth. And I need to phone up. You are the Electoral Commission. You are the head office of this election. You run it. You're asking everybody to register and vote there illegally. So are you aware of that? If you're not, you are now. What are you going to do about it? Really, this shouldn't be what you can do. And that's what I asked him. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to resign? You must resign.
Well, again, they're going to do what they're going to do. The only important thing is you know what you have done.
Oh yeah, no, I fully understand.
Well, no, again, Jay, this is for. I'm still third party here. Okay, this is. I want to make sure that everyone is getting it for themselves. Otherwise, it just sounds like it's me and you talking. That's all. So that's again. I'm effectively what I'm doing is translating what you're saying to make sure everyone gets the idea of what you did. Because you know what you did. I know what you did. I just want to make sure that everybody else knows exactly what you did from their perspective. And it keeps us out of it. That's all. I'm just trying to keep us out of it. But the power, look at that. See, there's another thing that needs to be addressed as well. This wasn't just your local election office, was it? No, this was the office. the serpent. So Jay's not fucking around here. None of us do. We take it straight downtown. Isn't it fun when you do this, though?
Yeah, and you know, and I'm going to use this in the one sense, but the every one, which is the one, the every one. There's 7.5 billion every ones, and you know, if those ones, WANDS as well, if those ones wave themselves a little bit, things just speed up a lot faster for us. And you know, I like things to move fast. So you know, the faster things move, the more exciting it is, in a way.
Well, that's why,
you know, nothing else is going to materialize till the boredom of that complete shambles of the legal world, the matrix, collapses. Nothing fresh can start for every one until that heap of shit collapses. You know, and it's no judgment on it. You know, I'm not judging it. In my mind, it's just something that, you know, it just don't really part of that, mate. Thank you very much. Just keep out my way. But actually, what you're also not you, but what it's also doing, it's impinging on, you know, my ability to spread myself, and so I don't like that. You know, and it doesn't mean I want to affect anybody else. You know, I'm quite content and trundling along in my own way. But there's always that dark cloud just hovering around on the horizon, you know, that all the demons that I bump into. And like I said to that guy today, you know, I'm not being funny with you, and you personally, I don't have an issue with you, but if you're using a legal name, my friend, you're acting in deceit. You might not even know that, so you're a deceiver. Now, you probably say, no, that you're not a liar, but you are, because what I've also discovered is that anybody using a legal name, it's impossible now, not slightly, but absolutely impossible for them to be not a deceiver, because they're buried into what you described right at the beginning of the radio show. They're buried right into all of that blind man's buff, musical chairs, but win the competition, never come second, you're better than that, you sell your mum for £1 million. They're buried in all of that. They might pretend that they're not to themselves, but actually it's impossible for them not to be, because that's what the legal name is. That is what the legal name is, and that's the unpicking of that to come back into being for me anyway, to being the self. And you know, and you know, so that's another real truth here. I mean, I'm tired of walking around with demons. I'm tired of walking around with demons.
Jay, keeping it simple, what the legal name represents in the grandest order of things is the spiritual umbilical cord to feed the beast.
Yeah.
This is the Gordian knot. Remember, you can't untie the Gordian knot. You got to pull an Alexander the Great on it. You take a sharp blade and you cut it in two, and the knot is broken open. You see, the Gordian knot was never intended to be untied. It was tied in such a way as to make that seemingly impossible, or it would take a lifetime to figure out. One swipe of the truth sword cuts the Gordian knot. And the biggest knot that humanity is tied up in is the umbilical cord of the birth certificate, legal name, by thought contract alone, that allows the dark principality aspect, evil, pure evil, if you will, to feed easily upon you, to empower the death, murder, and destruction on this planet. You are guilty by omission and commission upon the knowledge of it is illegal to use a legal name knowingly to support evil, where we have turned that around, where any use of any legal name within our reality is for the sole purpose of destroying the entire construct, evil destroying itself. Cut the knot. Cut the cord. And every time you set a blazing inferno like this, I mean, every fire counts, and this one burns right across the entire planet.
Yeah.
One domino. Now, just to let everybody know, wonderful dance, Jay, and I would hazard to say that you wouldn't mind a few others on the dance floor with you, now that the door and dance floor is open for maybe a few others in the UK, specifically, seeing as that's what's going to be real to someone in the UK, as in the electoral office. It wouldn't sound quite natural if I were to call up with a Canadian accent to bitch about the Electoral Commission. So here's something that the UKers can have a bit of fun with while the rest of this world government collapses anyway. So call in and say, yeah, it's illegal to use a legal name, and this voter registration, that means all voter registrations are illegal, and this is an illegal government that will, at the end of the day, give birth to an illegitimate bastard child to call a prime minister.
Yes,
so it is
and
the one.
And that dance floor is massive. Everybody can come and there's many places to dance on. It's not just the Electoral Commission. There's MPs to dance with. There's police to dance with. There's election officers to dance with. There's 1,000,001 places people can go and dance around.
Churches, laundromats, grocery stores, fish and chip shops, pubs, you name it. It doesn't take much to start a good idea. And this isn't rumor mongering. This is truth getting out.
Yeah. And and everybody wants the truth. They do want the truth. And this is the one truth that slides off all the lines, because that one truth, I keep repeating it, but it's just I'm now singing completely 100% from this side of the river, if you will. So I'm excited about it, because it's like, yeah, it is fact, and that's again telling that guy today, it's a fact. Listen, don't matter what you say, right? It's a fact, right? It's true. Not all these bullshit facts where you roam around saying there's fact. They're not fact. They're all lies. This is a fact. It's a truth.
Yeah.
Truth is a fact.
Easy way to explain that. In as much as 1 + 1 = 2 is a fact, also it is illegal to use a legal name. Fact. Same thing. Perfect. 1 + 1 = 2, or perfect. It's illegal to use a legal name, and they're both the same fact to me.
And look how simple it is, Kate, put that way. Look how simple it is for any and every one, all the ones, to say that. It's less than 10 seconds.
Yeah, and they're going to have a quick look over their entire life and realize just how illegal they've been.
Exactly. Yeah, and then looking at it, you just go, wow, the whole thing can't exist without me being a legal name. No, it can't be that simple. Yeah, it is. This thing can't exist unless you remain the legal name. If you remain the legal name, whatever you don't like in your world will remain. It's that simple, really.
On the subject of sharing, this dancing, that's the word. On the subject of dancing, yes, everybody is invited to the ball. There are no, poor old Cinderellas that aren't invited and all that sort of nonsense. Everyone's invited to the ball. And one of the ways you can attend and put on your finest is using your email account. Anyone you like, even create a new one just special for the purpose, and send an email to info@electoralcommission.org.uk. And just don't even need to say anything. Just send a link to namegate.wordpress.com. That will be enough. It's just a case of, your way of attending the ball. Now, if you don't want to send an email to that location, pick anyone you like. Go through your local directory, use Google, it's your friend, and send just the link, namegate.wordpress.com, to any political party, to your local councillor, to your mayor's office, whoever. Have fun, attend the party, and let us know. Let us know, hey, I did it, look. Not because we need proof. This isn't about proof. It's just about saying, oh, hi, you came to the party, nice to see you, and cheers.
Exactly.
And you show others.
Yeah.
Yeah, you show others. You guys nailed it in a nutshell with this. The universal political scandal. All authority is null and void. That covers it. It might take people a little bit to have a look and see the truth in that very overall statement, but it is true. The universal political scandal. Legal name fraud, yeah. All authority is null and void. Yep, legal name fraud, nulls and voids it because it was, fraud intent, ab initio, since before it was put in place. The idea had to exist before it was put in place. Therefore, it's the pre-crime, the pre-thought that the individuals, that did this is guilty of. Here, give the patriots an example of how they're bringing evil upon themselves. What are you going to do? Defend yourself with registered firearms? You're going to kill the owner of the firearm? Who's the criminal?
Okay, don't make me laugh. Bang, bang, you're dead. Oh, what? I was already dead?
Yeah, you're already dead, and here you are taking a gun that doesn't belong to you, killing the owner with it. Be that anyone that operates for the Crown. You guys, this whole registration legal shit has got every crime going against, no matter what good you think you're doing within that reality. You know, defending your honor and all, that you are committing the highest of crimes. Stop doing that. It's a good idea. It really is. You'll find things get along a lot better when you're not out wishing death upon the entire state of consciousness. It's a much better vibe. What do you guys think? I think so.
Definitely, it is.
Yes, don't underestimate your abilities, guys.
No.
Yeah,
is there anybody else
in
the UK on the line at the moment? Do you know?
I've been checking. It's just you and Rose right now. I would urge anyone in the UK right now that is on the board, get your fucking hand up, you lazy bastards. Come on, let's get on here. You know, here we are trying to inspire people, and it's just me and a couple of other people constantly. It's always me and a handful of others. Come on, show that you're actually involved in the dance here. Don't be afraid of me. Don't be afraid of Jay. Don't be afraid of Ninja. Don't be afraid of anything. If you're afraid of coming to this table, you know, you got some fucking issues, I'm telling you. Randy.
I have this dance for the rest of my life.
We are in the UK.
Hey, that's Canada, isn't it? Anne Murray.
Yeah, we're everywhere.
Well, again, you see, you're talking jurisdictional. To me, it's just a fucking song. You don't need to put a label on it. I'm just having fun with you. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm grabbing a coffee. I'll be right back.
Yep. Kenyatta. Yeah, Bert is downstairs. He's brewing up some kind of a dinner thing. We are creating gardens, you name it. It's really beautiful. Really beautiful. Co-creating like this. No legal name.
Where are you, Andy? Whereabouts are you?
We are in the air of Zone 1.
Okay. Have you just moved there? I've listened to before. You just moved there, haven't you? You've just gone to a new spot?
Yes. I moved from Oklahoma to here, learning gardening and, doing all kinds of things, putting my talents out there. And we're all really working together and working it. I mean, Johnny's been out a lot, and before I got here, before someone was here with him, he wasn't out but maybe once or twice a month. Now it's once or twice a week, if not more. And no one has plates, no one has bins. We travel as we desire.
Yeah, and it's great.
It is, and I'm curious. I've even asked Kate, maybe not in all the rooms, we were looking for others to communicate with who are doing the same things we are, who are, joining together, communing, I guess. That's what it is, communicating, communing, living together, dwelling together.
Co-creating,
yeah.
Learning to work and co-create together and, and go through all that we need to do to be one.
Yes. And we're just curious of others. I know Libby has people visit her on occasion from time to time. Just looking for others who are doing the same.
They're going to be out there for sure.
Yes. So if any know of any, hit me up. I'm right there. Yeah. I'm told it's Randy Hearts Ascend. That's Skype.
Yeah, it takes a lot of practice, and I say practice, but it takes a lot of doing to love each other. We're all retarded, in my opinion, or view. And I know I am, and I just try my darndest to keep pushing forward and learn how to love, you know what I mean? And you have to rub and rub and rub to fucking love, and you know what I mean? So you got to get past the dumb shit. all the quirks.
And did you guys know each other before you moved in together, or did you meet recently?
Well, we met when we did the join up after the Old World's Thanksgiving in November.
Okay.
Right. There were 15 of us here, or 13 of us here. I don't know, 15, 13, whatever. And so we were here 3 days together. John opened his place to the 0 pointers, I guess, as Kate used to say. And we shared.
Still do.
Time. Yeah, and we shared at that time. And it wasn't a sharing of what I had hoped for. I wanted, joint, creations of what do we see? What's the new world going to be? Of meditating, even of you name it. But it was a delight, nonetheless. It was a delight. 13 of us here was delightful. It was wonderful. Everyone learned to say okay. It's key. It's key. Get the ego out of it.
Yeah.
Just, okay.
Here we go. Gotta love this. Benjamin Fulford, love these headlines. April 20th. U.S. corporate government goes bankrupt on April 20th. Greece seizing all public funds. Yes, all people had in their bank accounts. Well, it's not theirs. Lock and load. Thousands of body bags delivered. Jade Helm. By the way, that's the southwestern United States. That's what Jade Helm involves. You'll see California as the mirror to what you see as Israel in the fractal overlay. I'm kind of doing map overlays and stuff and just seeing where shit's playing out. It makes sense. Californix, right? The fire, the hellfire. So it's just interesting to watch things unfold as they do. And here the headline top one is Texas is preparing to be invaded. When are you guys going to wake up down there? It's illegal to use a legal name. They can't touch you if you don't have one. But don't be pointing guns at them. That's a contract. You want to fight. Oh, they'll fight. That's what they want you to do. They want you to fight. That's where the power comes from, the hate, from the fear, from the death, from the murder and the mayhem. The contract of the intent to fight. And really, when you understand what creational power is, can you please tell me exactly what it is you're fighting and why you think you need to and that you are all that is? Just curious. You got a problem with that? Yeah, you've been beat up too long, and this is why it's so important that you understand why you're doing what you're doing. You don't know what drives you, do you? It just drives you. That's because you came with unconditional love to teach it. So teach.
Yes.
One who has unconditional love does not pick fights. So I can tell the level of love that one has, truth that one has, based on the conditions they place upon it. I don't place conditions on truth. I simply accept it. And sort it out within myself. No need to pick a fight, is there? Really? No. We end them. That's what we do here. We end the fight. Legal name is illegal to use. It's fraud, and it creates all wars and the intention to create wars. It creates all governments. It creates all money. It creates all reality, all religion, all of the nonsense that people have been programmed with. Time to stop that. Don't you think? I thought so too. But that's just me. Call me crazy. Apparently it's insane to hate war.
Yeah. Right. Wow. Well, I had fun today. Hey, I had fun today looking at dates and found the Flat Hat Club was founded 11/11/1750 and was I go with my intuitive on sending out the documents and making people aware. Anyway, I came across the Fraternal Order of Police. Well, they're another Flat Hat Club, so their little illusional bubble of protect and serve just got burst.
Well, the thing is,
it's
Raw,
so fun to send out the emails and wake them
up.
It
is fun. It is fun. The thing is, Raw. When you think about this, and this is not just to you, I love it. I'm talking to everyone, always am. When you send information about NameGate now, what this does is it's actually every mayor who is elected into office then presumably appoints the officials for the whole town. Probably something to do with the police commissioner, probably something to do with the police department, probably something to do with all this kind of stuff. Oh yeah, right. So hello, let's just stick to the point here. There is no authority, because as soon as that elected official is no longer an elected official, what happens next?
See, that's NameGate.
Okay, now again, guys, please. Do not get derailed from what the cause and effect is here. And I need people to get this, because you will not understand NameGate until you know the source fraud behind it. NameGate is an effect of the causal fraud called legal name fraud.
That's right.
It is a huge swathing governmental power. It is not the answer in and of itself. It is a huge swathing effect contained within you knowing that it is illegal to use a legal name, as it is for everyone, because elections would not exist without them. So remember to go to source. And when you're explaining NameGate to people, you make damn sure that they understand that's an effect. That's not a cause. That is an effect of the legal name fraud. And
I mean, we made this very clear Saturday night, didn't we, Kate?
Oh, yeah.
If anybody wants to go back and listen to that show, there is nothing new in NameGate. There is not a single word in it that's new. This has been talked about over and over and over for ages now. All it is a new angle for people to focus and get, okay, because it seems that people need different angles to help them to click.
It is yet one more swathing, huge fractal effect of the cause at source, and the source always has to see. I cannot connect NameGate to you, but I can certainly connect the idea of a legal name that you may have had. You may never have voted, so it's not real to you if you've never voted. But I'll tell you, if you ever opened a bank account or ever got anything with identification, that is real to you. So I always, and this is something that you really need to get this point across to people first, because things to the magnitude that NameGate is will not be understood. Because it's in the realization that every name that has ever been registered legally without permission granted, i.e. bar card, to the individual that's using it, is doing things illegal. And everything that they've done, votes, banks, everything after that cause is the effect of that fraud. And this is the web. The NameGate is the web of the political control system. It's the same way as I see it the same way as a benchmark across the planet that buried the world under 1.5 feet of Admiralty seas. This is going back years. Okay, to see it. When you see what NameGate is as the effect of every election is fraud, that can now be seen. But you will not see that until you know the why is it illegal, why is it fraud, why? Because you can tell someone that it's the registration is illegitimate or illegal, and they'll go, well, did you see the questions that will come from that? So you make damn sure that when you're talking to people, they understand their own illegality first. Keep it at source, otherwise it's going to create a fucking target for someone. So when you focus on only the cause or only the effect without telling the cause behind all of this, it won't make sense to them. And something as profound as many of the things we have found, the latest and biggest of which being the whole electoral thing, the NameGate aspect, is still just another effect of the primordial cause that we're all doing this to ourselves. That is the fundamental, and I never want to leave that, and I'm never going to let that get derailed. It comes back to you and me individually, and keep it there. Otherwise, it becomes another outside fucking cause that someone is going to chase because they don't know the truth. So tell them the fucking truth. This is what grants this beautiful thing that you guys have brought forward, the power. It will not have power until it's understood, because an idea cannot be established if it is not understood. So be very, very clear on this. Get involved. Those that know that the legal name is illegal, the tools you wield and the power you wield within that, in benevolence, goes without measure. A simple phone call changes entire planets, you know? And that's what you guys do. But please don't, we can put whatever we want to these things to get the word out there. But the fundamental has to be got within everybody. Bring it home to source. You, by omission or commission knowingly, are part of the crime against humanity in the soul trap that is killing all of humanity, and you are in agreement to it by being any part of it.
And once that's understood and discovered as well, Kate, then, what I was just thinking then was, for sure, categorically and 100% correct in my mind, is the seed of all of this is a legal name fraud. And to understand, for me to even consider or ever use a legal name, I'm acting illegally, and everything's built on that. The next thing that grows from that seed is this system of elections, and up from there the branches of administration. So once one understands that they are not the legal name and it's illegal and they're acting criminally to claim to be the legal name, once they understand that, then what Namegate has done, from what I see, is it's then just taken the trunk down. There's no point lopping off the branches with, stopped by a policeman. Yeah, that's fine to do that, of course. I'm not saying it isn't. But so for me to... That's why I stepped in and made a phone call for myself today, because I saw it as a huge opportunity to pry into that, right into the root of it, rather than dickering around with what I would consider, what you're talking about there, some of the lesser effects. The major effect is, from the legal name spawns, the first spawn out of that are these things of governments and principalities and countries and all of that sort of stuff. That's the first thing, and that's all built on this bullshit idea of democracy and you the voters, and all saying we represent you, and it's like, what the fuck, you don't represent me, but you do if you're a legal name, regardless of whether it's just ridiculousness. And I'm just agreeing really, because again, the whole show could just be as simple as this. Using a legal name's fraud. It's exactly what you say. Get that into your head, and then everything else unpeels. But if you can't get that into your head, anything else that's being talked about is an irrelevance, because you can't see it. It's like I was saying to that guy today. If you can't see that using a legal name is fraud, then you're in deception, and you don't even know you're lying to me. I'm sorry, but you don't know you're lying to me.
To prove you're right... To prove you're right is so easy. I'll give you an example of it. So this is, again, little examples allow these ideas to stick very quickly so you can see them. You're confronted by a cop. What is going to matter more to the cop? And again, this is not to make less of or more of. Again, it's just to find the fundamental that this is the hub, and all spokes emanate from this hub. Walk up to a cop and say, they ask you for ID. Did you know it's illegal to vote? They don't give a fuck. Do you know it's illegal to use a legal name? Now they give a fuck.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's horses for courses. Yeah,
I do see the difference.
So again, it is relevant. Everything that everyone is doing, it is so relevant. Namegate is relevant, but it is irrelevant without the basis of the truth contained within it. That it is. Why is Namegate matter? Because it's illegal to use a legal name. That's it. Just like it's illegal to have a driver's license. It's illegal, So, again, this is about being, me. I got to be impeccable, making sure the causal position is in place so that the effect is understood. There's no point in watching a fireworks go off in the distance and you don't know who lit it and who built it. Okay, it's like it could be anything. But if you're there at the fireworks and you're the one lighting the fucking match and you're the one watching that rocket go up, you know what it is because you were the cause point. Otherwise, you're standing back enjoying something. You don't know what it is. For all you know, it could be a fucking hologram in the sky with sound effects. But when you're there at, lighting that powder keg, like you were there today, and Ninja and everybody is doing their. All of you have lit many powder kegs, and you knew why you lit the powder keg. Great. I'm really glad that you understand that, but you got to stop thinking like everybody thinks like you. They don't. So you got to while you're at the top of Jacob's ladder, you got to be right where everyone is too at the same time. Because there's one fundamental thing that's going to allow them to climb that ladder at all, and it's understanding who they are. And while they are thinking, and this goes far beyond this, while they're even thinking they're a dead thing or a piece of paper, they have no idea of their true essence. This is about awakening the spirit within. This is about lighting the fires of the heart within, where we can show the cause, where we've done it to ourselves. This is the hard pill to swallow that people have a hard time with. You've been fucking doing this to yourself, like I was, like all of us were. And the difference, what you were talking about there, Jay, with regards to the tree, taking the trunk out, yeah, what you're dealing with here, excuse me, you gave me a great visual on it. Yeah, it's gone. It was brilliant. Again, you fly past concepts very quickly and say, oh. I'm sitting here chomping at the bit. Wow, those moments. But anyway, just say it.
Yeah, I've heard it sometimes, and it really is just that simple. It's illegal to use a legal name, and again, and I keep repeating this because it's true as well. I'm only speaking for myself here, and I'm saying it just to sink it deeper into me. The deeper it sinks into me, the deeper, the deeper that knowledge just germinates, and what grows from there, you see, the tree of death dies, and the seed in me then, knowing that truth, all the other stuff starts to grow out of me. So, I become a different, visual of, I don't want to be using this, but in a way I become the real tree of life, rather than this rotten, derelict, burning tree in a corner somewhere, which is, presented to legal namers as this is it. Look, this is it. This is the best you're going to get. This charred, burnt ember, which this world is, And now that I understand the truth for me of, I'm not that legal name, and wow, look what I used to think, and I used to know that, I was I had much more in me than that, The compassion and the love that you talk about, even to show that as a legal name is difficult. Why is it difficult for me to show that? Because of all the stuff, all the programs disallow that, because the legal name brings a doubt, and you can't be loving, Jason, you can't be caring, you can't not want to beat somebody, all that stuff that's in there, and now that's gone. It's like, well, I'm still shedding those skins of that, but I understand that the truth's in there now, and what's growing out of there is a beautiful tree that I am, the part of self and part of creation that everybody is. And that's what it means to me, and that's what it's meaning to me, and that's how important it is.
Okay, here, as an example of this fruit that we speak of, Namegate is fruit. It is a big, juicy fucking apple. What legal name fraud does is it proves you're right. That's all that legal name fraud does. To every one of these beautiful pieces of fruit you bring to the table is it proves your fruit is well picked. It is truth fruit. It is the right tree of knowledge. You are eating that tree of life. The difference between someone being in Babylon but not of Babylon is the difference between someone that is eating someone else's fruit, i.e. tainted fruit within the system. It's the same fruit. It's just the idea that taints it, because it is consumed in ignorance, by omission and commission of legal name fraud, knowingly or unknowingly. What happens is when you step out of Babylon, all of that fruit that you have spent a lifetime gathering is now your fruit again, to use as you will, untainted. You keep your own fruit pure by doing this, and this is why no one ever can pick from your tree once you have taken your own fruit back, but you cannot take your own apple tree back until you drop that legal name attachment idea completely. And then just get on with your day, because now it's, if you're out, like I said, working or whatever, that's your fruit now, because you cannot commit the same crime twice. The trick of the game here, though, being in Babylon, is you got to keep a body going. So this is where the system fucks itself. You know, suicide is apparently illegal. So you don't want to be, you know, suicidal and not eat. You don't want to be suicidal and not drink. You don't want to be, you know what I'm saying? So again, this is about upholding the law on the highest order. So you're picking your own fruit now, which is cool. Legal name fraud just proves you're right. I'm only interested in proving you're right.
Yeah, and that's it allows me to be more. It allows me to be more like the unconditional love you were talking about in the beginning, which is, in a way, it's been alien to sort of. I admit that to myself when you're in Babylon, because it's not allowed in there really. It's very sick, you know, the opposite side of that, and you know, it's relating back to stuff I've heard on the radio shows before with, you know, about just about how, you know, as living beings that we are caring, compassionate, and I've known that I always have been, but it's very easy to sort of scold oneself for being like that when you're a legal name, you know, because it's sort of, well, you know, there's nobody out here that's nice, there's nobody out here that's loving, there's nobody out here that cares, and so if that's the case, then either just hide away from everybody, or put a thick shell on and don't let anybody see you. I don't mean see, or I do mean that. I mean see that I'm just describing there. That beautiful heart that I know that everyone has, but I also know that everyone virtually has not discovered it, and so you know it is quite beautiful in many ways for me to start discovering that in myself, and it's impossible. It would have been impossible for me to fully discover that without dropping the identity, the demon that I thought I was, the legal name. And I'm not angry that I was kidded into that, because it just lessens. So I have also dropped the vengeance as well, which is a great blessing for me. You know, and I had my own, you were talking the other night about trials and tribulations 18 months ago. 4 people turned up here with masks on, balaclavas on, tied me up, beat me over the head, stole stuff from the house, and it just, and I didn't do anything. Well, I did in a way, but in my mind I did. But I sat on my hands, and it's gone now. You know, the vengeance for that has gone. But I had to. There was great lessons in that. What are you protecting this stuff called money for? Even though you're not, what are you doing that for? I don't even want it. You know, and that just showed me, look what these demons do. You know, because they've been lied to, because they've been twisted themselves into thinking that all of this stuff, because that system tells everybody it's okay. They put it all over the television, go and kill people, hang people, shoot people, do whatever. They do all of that, hate everybody. You have no compassion. All this type of stuff is what I'm trying to describe what goes on. And, you know, so that's what I'm sort of saying really, and it would have been not possible for me to start to develop the me in me fully without discovering the truth of what I am and what I'm not. Well, I'm certainly not the legal name, even though I thought I was. Even though I was discovering that, the legal name was the handicap that just kept me from getting over that final hurdle. And once I got over that final hurdle, it's, well, okay, now I can start being me, and that's beautiful, you know. So thank you all for that, and thank you especially for keeping going. And that's to say, it's not bigging you up. It's just like, it's nice to have a sounding board, and it's nice for me to be able to thank another. That's all. There's nothing other than a genuine thank you for everybody for, you know, and thank me for joining in, and thank you for joining in, and great, isn't it? So that's the fruit of not holding a legal name, not being a legal name. It just allows that final, you know, when you're pulling yourself out of here, and the one thing you just can't break free. Why can't I? What's going on here? I think I know this. I think I know that. And what I've discovered is the one final thing, bit of elastic that I kept stretching and I couldn't pull away from stretching, and it was, fuck me, is that what's been going on? And then when that penny dropped in me, that elastic, the umbilical cord finally broke, and I was free, in the grandest sense of that word, free. And that's just deepening within me. So that's how powerful for me it is to rediscover self, begin to rediscover the self in me, the real self in me.
Here's an example for all of us. Imagine there are two people in one bucket. And that bucket, in order to become overflowing, must be filled right to the top, to the point of overflowing. And let's say you filled that bucket up to the point where one drop was missing. That's all it's needed, is one drop. And that's you doing your part, regardless of how much you put in or how little you put in. And here's where the double cross happens. Because do you want to be the one filling the bucket or the one putting the drop in? Balance it out. I can fill the bucket halfway. You have to fill it the other half. Then it overflows when we both add to it. And that just brings into light the importance of that one drop. Someone coming in brand new does something really might seem innocuous, is the one drop that tips that bucket over. Just like at the water park, that big bucket that fills with water slowly and eventually it gets to tipping point and then it pours out and the kids go crazy. Yay! You're that drop. You are that potential drop. And there are many of us putting drops in those buckets. Some of us are running a garden hose into it, and that's okay. That's just kind of what we do. And others are walking around wondering if they can, spare one drop of their water to put in that bucket, i.e. a bit of their effort. One email. Can you put an email into the bucket? And that's all this really takes. Because at the end of the day, you don't know the effect that drop is going to have when that bucket tips and what's going to get washed out because of it. So you can decide whether you want to wait for everybody else to fill that bucket for you. You'll never be able to partake of the fruit of it anyway, or be a part of it. And that's it. This table is wide open to be a part of this tree, part of this tree of life. You decide what kind of fruit you are and how big you want that part of you to grow. But the other side of that coin is don't bitch if you're not doing something. And don't bitch if someone is really doing their thing and you're just kind of tagging along for the ride. See, this isn't a competition. The only competition you might have is within yourself as to whether or not you're actually going to stand or not, to the degree that you can. We were talking earlier today with regards to station or our role that we play in life. I've got my role to play. Jay, Ninja, Roar, Randy, all of you guys, Johnny, everybody, you've all got your roles to play. And how big a role you want to play in your own book of life is entirely up to you. But if you ever feel that, you need to do more, then do more. Shine, kids. This is what this table is here to do. And we share of that evenly and without there's no contract here but truth itself. And what you do to be a part of it is your mirror reflection. So my challenge to you is simply this: dare to shine as bright as you can. Quit hiding behind your own shadow. Dare to be the one that takes that bucket up where only one drop is required. And wait till you see the face, the heart of the one that puts the drop in that changes the world. And then we'll see why it matters just to get involved. All it takes is to, hey, have you heard that it's illegal to use a legal name? That's all you need to do. That's the kangaroo. Right there. Walk away, because that kangaroo will keep jumping and jumping and jumping, because that is the short out of the entire program. Do you know it's illegal to... Everyone's worried about breaking the law if they got a legal name, right? Well, then you tell them you're breaking the law. It's illegal to use a legal name. That's a legal fact. 1 + 1 = 2. It's illegal to use a legal name. Same thing. Easy to prove. And that's all it takes. That's one drop in the bucket. Because I'll tell you, when you drop that drop in their bucket, they're going to, hey, have you heard anything about this legal name thing being illegal or whatever? No, I haven't. And then they're going to go look, and then they're going to tell their friends and tell their friends and tell their friends. You see, this is multi-level marketing without money. It's called truth. It's all free. Everyone prospers with it. I think that's a better idea, personally, but that's just me. I like good ideas. And that whole electoral thing is going to be huge with a lot of people. Some people take that voting thing, they treat it like a fucking religion. What do you mean you don't vote? You know that? You know the type. Well, if you don't vote, you don't have your fucking say in the matter, and whatever. You don't have your say in the matter either. I don't know why you're screaming so loud, you Stockholm Syndrome suffering piece of shit, idol worshiper. Huh? It's illegal to use a legal name. Huh? Oh, yeah. That's all it takes. But when you tell someone like that the whole, they know the system's a scam, now you can prove it. And it's really, really easy. You don't need 9/11 conspiracies, and you certainly don't need the likes of Alex Jones puking off at the fucking asshole at the mouth all the time, drilling it through. Are you Republican or Democrat? Whatever, Hicks. You're not funny anymore, Hicks. Unreal. The difference you make is huge. And these beautiful fractals, call it religion, call it elections, politics, call it legal, call it whatever resonates with a particular group of people in a large way, this does, it's going to bring that swath home. The only important thing for me is that regardless of what you are sharing out there to expose this, that you are going to be 100% absolutely right, because you can prove it. And it all proves itself out in one way only. You can prove the original fraud. And every fraud that comes thereafter is merely the effect of the original fraud, the original sin. That's what's going to drive people across the threshold into their own awakening. Their, oh, wait a minute, what the fuck is going on moment. Kangaroo jumping. It's illegal to use a legal name? Yeah. Yeah, you should look it up. Legal name fraud, Google it. Namegate, Google it. How many ways can we find the same truth? And the truth is, you're here to find you. All of this is just the matrix. You know, are you part of the Frau turn to L, fraternal, legal fraternity? No. We know what their club is. They have their own bar, and they want you to pick up the tab at their tab urn. And they'll burn you to ash, your creation, your truth urn. This is about being able to see things. Take the word testicles. Here's a fun one. Bet you didn't see this coming. Yeah. Test eye culls. Well, what are you seeing? It's an eye test. A self-test. And, of course, culls means harvest. Hang on. Just fractaling it out. Because these go big pretty quick. How about CLES? Does that ring a bell with anybody in the French regimes? Clé? Key? Heracles? Heracles? Testicles. It's all Roman to me. Right? Test I life? Key? Where you parking your ship? Key? How do you unlock your door? Key? Roman numeral 10, I-O, at 10, creation herself, itself, within himself. It's all one. Himself, herself, itself, himself, herself. It doesn't matter what order you put them in. It's all one anyway. It's creation contained within creation. At source, you. Know thyself, bitch. And there's only one thing that is completely 180 degrees not you in this world, and that's a legal name. You are alive. And I'm not talking about the meat stick. I'm talking about you. The real you. You know, the life force that kind of drifts in and drifts out of things. The experience part. You know, the meat stick is the experience. You, on the other hand, are a whole lot more immortal, you know? Like an infinite sort of thing. Unless you think you're dead, at which point you degrade your own consciousness to the point of, see ya. There are so many ways that we can expose this to so many people. And this one is a beaut. It's, yeah, election's a touchy subject with the vastness of humanity. So they're always trying to vote somebody into some office. Would you be our class president? Fuck. You know, they don't start it too young, do they? Okay, let's play Follow the Leader. Musical chairs. Yeah, C-spot run. Indeed. Once upon a time. There's the Dalmatians again. Funny how that's showing up all the time. Get a grip on your dogs, Cruella. Call your dogs off. Anyway, just, you need to know how important you are. Each and every one of you who have been degraded to the point where you don't think you can make a difference on a world scale. I know a crazy little tranny that did. And if a crazy little tranny can do it, boy, that's not saying much about you, is it? Really? Think about it. Yeah, fucking cunt's got a point, you know? Yeah, I do. Crazy little terrified tranny can do it. I think you can, too. Tough guy. It's easy. Stand in truth. Get all invincible-like. Never have to pick a fight because nothing ever comes near you to want one. I'd call that very peaceful. What would you call it? Yeah, because it is. Anyway, mini sermon.
Kate, Jay,
yeah.
we have actually got a video file which goes with the phone call. It was an audio-video thing, and I just wanted to let Bran Newman know and the other people who do upload videos that they can contact me for the link. I didn't want to put it out before, and I don't want to be uploading it anywhere. So I have that link, and anybody who wants to share the video responsibly with the correct links and whatnot underneath it, including the link to this show for the, So, okay, let me know, and I'll pass that over to you. As soon as possible would be really nice, but whenever you're able to do it.
There is a show and tell version of this. Jay, if you could just give people an idea what you did with it.
How do you mean?
How you recorded it? You were saying about taking.
Yeah, I recorded it with a video camera. So that was pointing at. I had the laptop open. I made the call on a mobile phone, and I had NameGate WordPress site open. So I was filming, and it was the video recorder that recorded it. I was filming the phone, me talking into. Well, I wasn't filming me, but you can't see me in it. You can see the computer, the phone, and of course hear the clarity of the recording, because it was what we did today was sort of a second-hand recording, if you will. It's much clearer on there. So there's a video of it which makes it more interesting to watch, and the clarity of the words. Yeah. So that's what I did. I rang on a mobile phone and video recorded it at the same side, video in one hand and the phone in the other hand, and computer open.
Yeah, you'll find it more real. Radio is great because you can get the conceptual visuals, and then when you have the audio-visual, either audio-visual first or after, it just really helps to solidify the idea. Just to let you guys know, we're about to roll over here. Roar, did you want to do a quick phone number for the rollover of the rollover of the rollover?
The rollover, yeah. Okay, if you want to call in to GNIP, the number is 914-803-4058. And
Perfect.
we'll get
10 seconds to go. No, I was
All
I
right.
just want to get the number in before we rolled over. Good time in 10
Oh.
seconds. All good. It's all good. Yeah, so, the team is doing what the team does. We just love to have more and more people involved. Hey, guys, when you start getting going, it is fun. It is a lot of fun. You know all those people that used to push you around, cops and lawyers and judges and stuff? Remember those guys? You know, the bluffers? Yeah. It's your turn. But this is not about getting even, okay? This is about just typically and very easily saying, fuck off. That's it. This is not your reality, assholes. You've been thieving from it. I'm good. I'm out. I take the. See, when you take the sidelines in the physical, that's when you get front row center in heaven, in the spiritual. As soon as you stop fighting here, you take over somewhere else. You want power? There it is. But when you get it, you kind of go, well, I don't really need that. See, that's the thing about power. Those that truly understand it have no interest in it. It's just what it is. No big deal. There's no write home and tell mom about that one. It's just what it is. It's like having a permanent full tank of gas in your car and you just don't feel like driving anywhere. It doesn't change the fact you got a full tank of gas that you could go anywhere, wherever you want. You just don't, when you feel like going for a drive, you do. But it's not something you have to go out like with, an armed invasion. Oh, I have power, and that's what got corrupted. Power in the wrong hands is a dangerous thing. That's why you got to get a grip on yourself and your own responsibility. Because every thought you wield is a mighty Thor hammer, and you might be making somebody mighty Thor in all the wrong ways. You don't want to do that, because that's just going to come back and make you mighty Thor. Not mighty Thor, but mighty Thor. You'd be bent over. It's just how it works. Golden rule. Unconditional, one conditional. That which you wish upon another, you wish upon self. I wish only benevolence. I seek only benevolence. I'll stay there. Works for me. It's been a bit of a pain in the ass for this life experience, but it doesn't matter. It's not going to change who and what I am. That's me. Nothing changes me. No, I can take care of that business myself. I can learn my own lessons. I can observe my own reality. I can be my own cause, seeking benevolent effect because I have benevolent cause. It's... You plant a watermelon seed, you're expecting an apple tree. You see? So when you decide to plant a watermelon because you want a watermelon, you plant a watermelon seed, yes? Same with an apple tree. That's all this is choosing the right garden with the right seeds and the right fruit. Match them all up. That's how your garden grows. Mary, Mary, quite contrary. And don't worry, when you are growing all the different fruits, everything, and this is allegorical, your field is abundant for all. It's a self-perpetuating garden. And everyone partakes of the same garden. Truth. What, you think we're going to run out of space or garden or something? What, you live in a box? Or do you live in a universe? Yeah. That's a problem with opening your eyes in the physical sense, as it closes your real eyes to the spiritual universal. You're merely a shadow behind the false light that you're looking at. You call them thoughts. But I'll tell you, your thoughts change a whole lot when you close your eyes, don't they? They get a whole lot deeper and a whole lot more personal, and a whole lot more introspective. Unless, of course, you're distracted by all of the menial bullshit that is thrown your way because of this construct of control and slavery, making everyone a little busy bee, busy little drones that don't have any time to have any sort of an existence while they're busy going around collecting all the pollen for some other queen bee that has their select committee of who she fucks and who she doesn't, you know. I call that a serious waste of life. I'd call that seriously out of balance. You can call it whatever you want, but I'm not part of the Frau Turn L here. No, my stock and trade is somewhere else, and it ain't here. It's in my heart. Guess what that's connected to? Yeah. All that is you, and all that is all. And I grow from there. Just do the work on yourself. You have the tools out there. Go ahead. You want victories? We can give you victory after victory after victory. It just depends on what is your intent. Is it all about you, or is it all about taking down the system that's harming everyone, including the neighbor that fucking pisses you off? But then you might still see evil. I just close my eyes to it. I simply know that evil exists, and that's what's getting destroyed, and I don't care what face it has on it. I don't judge. Evil's an observable thing. Evil is, and evil does what evil is. There's no contest there. That's just pretty straight up, pretty logical common sense. The same thing with benevolent acts. I see that, and that's what that is. Don't make a big deal out of it. It's like, yeah, that's the path I walk. I mean, you live in the same hometown long enough, you're not going to walk around and go, oh my, look at that. No, it's just a very comfortable, very familiar territory. It's nothing special, but it's your home. So it is special at the same time. So that's you. Treat that within yourself in the same way. Get so comfortable with home, you, that you know it's not so. You know you're special, but you're not special. It's a beautiful 0 point. It's where you can turn to people around you that are doing the same things and helping in the same ways, and just as frustrated as you and I with, why can't you just get it? It's illegal to use a legal name. What more do you need to know? From that point to whatever you have to do to explain it while someone is throwing a, tantrum. That's all it is. It's grown-ups throwing a baby tantrum. Yeah, I know. Here's your diaper pins back. Change them yourself. I had to learn to change my own diapers. Then I had to learn how to walk, and then I had to learn how to, I don't need diapers anymore. I don't need any diapers. I can go to the bathroom all by myself, Effectively, what we've done is spiritually toilet trained ourselves. We've spiritually taught ourselves how to walk from a complete state of unknowingness, the alpha point when you showed up here, to where you are now. And you can watch the progression of how much you've grown and matured through your spirituality. Are you still an infant? Are you a toddler? Are you a preteen, teenager, young adult, adolescent, moving into the adult stage of your spirituality? Or are you still hanging around with the rest of the kids in the legal name world, trying to rip each other's diapers off? All grown up like and fuck each other. Kind of creepy if you ask me, but that's what it is. It's observable. You can see it. Do you know many adults that act like children when you tell them it's illegal to use a legal name? You know it's true. It's just not like you have an opinion on it. I don't have an opinion on it. It's just a fucking fact. I don't have an opinion on 1 + 1 = 2, do you? If you do, you got some serious fucking issues. And you have the same serious fucking issues just by not understanding that it's illegal to use a legal name. You know, I really wish these sickos like fucking Dean Clifford and the rest of these wankers out there would get that through their thick fucking diaper-laden heads. And I'm not going to be gentle with these motherfuckers anymore, because there it goes, Dean, you dumb fuck. Somebody got fucking hurt because of you, you cockbag. That's yours, bitch. How about you start telling the truth that it's illegal to use illegal names? Start there, and then grow up from there, because you still got shit in your fucking diapers, and I'm going to wipe it all over your face every time this shit goes down until you get put back in the fucking slammer or wake up. Because I'm not tolerant of this. You know better. So who are you, really? You know it's not nice to hit Becky in the face with a shovel, so why you keep doing it? It's the only question I'm going to ask you. Why are you so worried about you where all of us are concerned? You see, when you start working on behalf of humanity and you get rid of this selfish gimme, fucking me, how can I use this tool to win this and do that? And shut up, kid. Get to the back of the motherfucking class. And I don't care how big an apple you brought. We don't play favorites in this class. We play truth. Because truth, well, is my favorite, and I know a few others that truth is their favorite. And no one fucks with our favorite thing of all. It's not a thing at all, but it is, you know. It's kind of that. No, I'm not tolerant. Not of knowing and willful harm that goes against someone that has bought into your fucking religion. Dean, Santo, Max, all of you. If you're not teaching this one thing, then you are still reinforcing the idea that not being who they are is a good idea, and that makes you pure fucking evil in my world, bitch. You see, there's that tightrope, eh? There's that threshold. That once you know, you know, you know? And there's no not knowing what you know, you know? Regardless of whatever fear or true intention of your filthy, black, fucking evil heart is, but that's just going to be an observation of action that you or anyone else that knows this is still doing. Either you're a scared little fucking whiny girl and can't stand. I mean, hell, you big man, I'm half the man you are. You fucking sissies. Oh, you, but you, aw. Bunch of fucking sissies. David Icke, sissy. Santo Bonacci, sissy. Dean Clifford, sissy. All of them, bunch of fucking sissies. Bunch of panty-wearing fucking queers. Guys on guys. Cocksuckers galore. Wankers extraordinaire. High-mast, fucking bowsprit, do me up the ass, fucking wankers. You might call that an opinion. But really, it's just an observation of an observable fact of what it is you like to be party to. So I can pick any filth I want off this planet, and that's you. It's not that I've painted you with it, it's you've painted yourself with it. I'm just observing the painting that you are. Nice brushes. But don't worry, I got the deluxe set. I can paint some real nice pictures. I'll paint them real clear. I'll paint them so clear that it might get under your skin, might get your goat, might get you to wake up, might even get you to bitch about me, get the word out. At least if you're bitching about me and this table, I know at least that way the word's getting out. So go ahead. Or you're going to be all quiet-like, all shy. Awful tough when it comes to taking on system people, but don't see too many of you taking on the fucking tranny. Because you ain't taking me on. Because you're only going to be fighting the truth, and I stopped fighting the truth a long time ago. So it's got nothing to do with me, bitch. And it's got everything to do with me, bitch. So I take care of business at home. But I'll tell you, when you're spreading filth and garbage and trying to make it my business, because that's the reality I'm in this world, you do that, you're trying to make your bullshit my business. Mind your own fucking business. I don't do business, and certainly not with demons. Spent a lifetime duped into that shit. Yeah. Seriously. You think these people would know? Still fighting for the little fucking peanuts. Still looking for your peppercorns, eh, Pepper Man? Jesus. Didn't think I was going to go here tonight, but, you know, when someone gets hurt, that just kind of sits under my skin for a bit. Especially someone that's supporting Dean Clifford and gets a nice little beating in jail over the weekend. That's your child, Dean. You pay for that one. Me, I know some people that can get the word out to her, if they already haven't got the word out to her, that it's illegal to use a legal name. That's going to be the clincher that's going to help. That's going to keep the fucking wolves and the dogs and the demons and the bullshit at bay. It's the only thing that does. That's a threshold they can't pass over. You see, the vampires and werewolves have to be invited into your home. Legal name says, come on in, rape my sorry ass and suck me dry. Equals legal name. Rip that little puppy off and you might as well put fucking 20-mile thick steel doors on your door. They ain't coming through. Ever. Just depends if you're afraid of a bluff or not. Here's you dealing with a system. You're playing the game of legal name, Texas Hold'em. You know that it's illegal to use a legal name, so that's against the law. And anyone claiming to be the law is breaking the law by trying to go against their own law. So it makes them an instant fraud, dirty hands, garbage. So they're sitting across the table from you, hoping that you buy their bluff, that you're their hand. Because if you take the legal name on, what you're saying is whatever you're holding in your hand is theirs. So if you're holding the royal flush and you still think, which you are, the royal flush is this. It's illegal to use a legal name. See ya. There's your blackjack moment. There's your royal flush. Beats every bluff. Because they're sitting across the table with nothing in their hand. Nothing. They're not even holding cards. They're not even in the game. The only one that's holding the cards here is you. You want to give that hand away? Thinking you're a legal name, you do that every time. You just need to get that through your noggin first. As far as the rest of the monkey chatter that's going on in your heads right now, you need to learn to shut that the fuck up. I'll be like the officer in Good Kill. I'm going to tell you straight up. This ain't no fucking Xbox game. You pull the trigger, people die. That's your thought, by the way. That's your trigger. You might want to get your finger off that hair trigger. Giddy up somewhere else. Slow it down. Just get it through your head what it is first. Because the longer you take the time to look at the fact that it is illegal to use a legal name, the rest of the shit sorts itself out. So let it. Breathe. It's the most critical thing I can tell you. Breathe. Calm the panic. Because this, for everyone everyone I've ever known, this is a rude awakening. But it's a beautiful one. And from that rude awakening to the being beautiful is only determined by your ability to shut up and breathe. And simply accept truth for what truth is. That's what we do at this table. I'm not going to come to this table with a theory or an opinion. No, I'm going to come here with what I found out about me today and how it relates to the consciousness overall. And I will share that truth because that's me. I can't tell you anything but me. Hi, having a smoke right now. That's the truth. That's the thing about radio. You kind of have to take my word for it, but I'll give you my word. I'm having a smoke right now. Because I can. Just telling you what is going on right now. That's me right now. And that will always be me at this table. Whether I'm having a smoke or not. I'm just going to tell you straight up. And no, there won't be... it won't be cushy all the time here. Especially for newer people. This is going to be one of the most uncomfortable rides you're ever going to experience until you finally get in the groove of it. And then you realize in that blinding moment of, hey, that's where those of us that know who we are can say, hey, there you are, I see you. Yeah, you see yourself now, don't you? Yeah. You'll know that moment when you get there. But you got to breathe. The first thing you got to get out of the way is that legal name fraud. Just get it out of your mind. Unlike the rest of these monkey gurus that want to, in order to know who you are, you need to fill out this form, 1099 CA, and then get, okay. No, we don't do that game. That's for idiots. It's simple. The moment you know, it's very easy to prove that it is illegal to use a legal name. Every piece of paper that you've ever touched on this planet goes into non-existence in the thought alone. Because the thought hits you that you never need to use that again. Let it go and breathe. There's a very fine line there between being in and not of Babylon. You kind of got to get right out of, you got to get right out of being in and of Babylon in your mind to understand that. You have to take the pendulum, the full spectrum, the other side, and then bring it back to center. I find most people throughout my life have only went to one side of the pendulum. Have you ever met a lot of people that have a very one-sided opinion on something and they won't shift on it? I used to challenge Christians all the time. Can you imagine no God? I would do this just to see where they were at. And you could always tell how far someone was on one side, where they wouldn't even consider the notion. Well, in order to understand that a, quote, God, unquote, exists, one must also have the notion that it doesn't. Oh, yeah, it's a paradox, all right. But the mere repulsion of the idea that, there can't, says who? There's only one thing I can be sure of that brings it back to center, and that's truth. And the truth is, I'm here. Hi. That one's a little hard to dispel. Just saying. And you'll learn to know yourself a whole lot better and not be so afraid of yourself. The games, the real games, and the awakening that is sitting in front of you. Almost envious. But it's like that for me all the time. I know a few others. It's like, could you imagine learning the phonics trick like right now, just for the first time? What a fucking mind blow that would be, because of how far it's progressed with how amazingly literal things are. Could you imagine coming out of the programmed English into phonics to this level? That'd be mind melting. I'm astonished every day at some of the words. I think that was Ninja said something about, or Roar. Somebody said something about fraternity, right? And it already had hit me. Fraternal, Frau, turn L. Turn the divine feminine to Lucifer. Fraternal.
They're all guys on guys.
Yeah, guys on guys. Girls on girls. No,
fraternal order. Guys. Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah.
And that particular little order is trying to. I just see them as their little gang, their little band, the band of brothers. Anyway, that brotherhood of what they're trying to do. No, it's just they need to know this information more than anybody. They're just so.
And you don't need to make a big deal. This is the whole thing. You don't need to make a big deal out of this, because this is what has been nailing us for so long. Because do you remember the days when we sounded like fucking preachers? Remember that? Free man preacher, patriot preacher. You fucking name it. We're a bunch of preachers. And this is exactly what you don't want to do. You don't want to be preaching, because truth preaches all by itself. You don't need to preach the truth. You just state it. It kind of carries itself, You don't need to get all preachy about it's illegal to use a legal name. I was doing some studying, and I found out it's illegal to use a legal name, so I figured out a few things I'm studying. I'm looking at this right now. This is some crazy shit. But anyway, it's a legal fact, man. It's illegal to use a legal name, and leave it there. Does that sound like somebody preaching at you? No, you can actually sound like yourself in that realization of, holy fuck, man, it's illegal to use a legal name. Better look at that. Because if it's illegal to use a legal name, yeah.
I tell them, don't believe me. Here's the information. Take a look for yourself. That's the only way. They have to look and see it for themselves.
This supposed legal system that you worship, well, your legal system is fucking telling you that it's illegal to use a legal name.
There you go.
Okay, now there's a bit of a catch-22 for them, because they kind of go, what, you don't believe in the legal system? Then why are you following one? It's illegal to use a legal name. If you're believing and following the legal system and that's your religion, then you're breaking your own fucking religion by using a legal name, because your religion tells you that it's illegal to do so. So again, tell me exactly why you're following a legal system. Because you want to stay legal. Well, it's illegal to use a legal name. So now just tell me exactly how you're going to stay legal without one. Now you're dealing with an impossibility. Because you can't play in the legal world without one. Guess you're kind of fucked there with a catch-22. Yeah, it was set up that way, stupid. It's called a dupe. It's called a fucking Kansas City shuffle. It's called three-card Monty. It's called bend you over in the back alley, fuck you up the ass while you're strung out on roofies. And you wonder why you're bleeding from your asshole the next morning, but you go to work anyway, right? Don't know about you, but that sounds pretty fucking insane to me. Don't you think? That's like a Christian walking around saying, fuck Jesus, I believe in Allah. Same thing. You're talking out of both sides of your mouth at the same time. Unfortunately, that mouth is attached directly to what? Your asshole. So I know where the air is coming from. It's getting sucked in from the wrong end. It really is this simple. You can gauge somebody's insanity. It's illegal to use a legal name. There's no contest there, kids. There is no legal, lawful contest there. It is fucking spelled out for you. And the magic appears when you really get this. Oh my. Fucking Alice in Wonderland moment. Because in that moment, there's not one of those demons that come anywhere near you. So you gotta go fucking hunt them out, It's like, gotta go chase them now, darn. And that's what we're doing. We're chasing the dogs. We're chasing all the dogs away. You can only imagine the amount of dogs that got, the hair on the back of their neck stood up with this whole electoral thing that Namegate and Jason and what you guys are doing over there. That's a lot of dogs went barking, Woof, woof. A lot of cats went scratching. Talk about cat scratch fever. Cat scratch fever is Anyone know what that is?
No. I've just been listening, so I don't know if to send it. Yeah.
Oh,
no, I don't know.
I'm familiar.
yeah, cat scratch fever. It's let's just say it's a really personal sort of shouldn't have fucked that individual sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cat scratch fever.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, sexually transmitted disease. Yeah, so we're giving them a little bit of cat scratch fever, but here's the thing: they're giving it to themselves because they're just dogs fucking dogs, just guys on guys. Who is ISIS? Right, Dog Star bitch. Funny that. What was the play out on that one the other day? The movies are crazy right now. The Comet rocks. It absolutely rocks. Do you remember the kid that played the really geeky super Galaxy Quester kid that had the walkie-talkie in Galaxy Quest?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the kid that gave him the snub. He plays the lead role in this. And I'll tell you, the whole role, I'm listening to it, it says, yeah, that's what I sound like on the radio. That's exactly what I sound like when I'm just trying to point out something that's obvious. When you guys watch The Comet, and I do urge that you watch The Comet, the opening, just the whole movie, the way it layers and plays things out, it will astonish you. It'll give you a chance to give you some introspection. Because I'm listening to this guy. The main character falls in love with this girl who's come to this comet or meteor shower thing in Hollywood at the cemetery. It's funny as hell. You're gonna love this. Anyway, so he just tells it straight up. It's kind of your geeky kid, professor type, real intellectual, and he's looking at this girl's date, and he starts to describe him completely like spot on. And I'll tell you, you'll be sitting inside his head underneath his toque when this guy's talking, oh, the Beatles are so passé and they're so this and that. Like this guy's talking about trying to be interesting, talking about something that is just somebody else's idea of a bad idea. Anyway, watch the movie. The subtleties will melt your mind because you'll already be there and you will be in the writer's seat. See, this is what happens when you start seeing the true silver screen. You see it unfold as the writer.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite something, because you are. Funny that. Yeah, I need to get into a bowl here. Yeah, I'm still, I didn't get a whole lot of sleep. Yeah, still kind of grilling on that last drift. It still hasn't clarified. And, of course, you guys show up with all this stuff. It's like, oh, great, here we go.
Yeah, I was thinking about what you were saying about all the gurus. It's spot on in many ways. And it's, it goes back what I've learned anyway about all the gurus using the legal name and just being something that they're not and unable to let that go. They can't let it go because another thing that, as I know now to be true, that everything that they all talk about that they think is true is a lie. And I mean everything. If you sat there talking about astrotheology, well, actually, all of that's a lie. All the books written on that are a lie. So if you spent a lifetime learning and being an expert on that, how can you? Well, you can. You've got to throw that out. So as soon as you put yourself out there in expert mode or guru mode about any of these things, to realize, using the REALEYE, realize that everything in that legal framework, all the knowledge in that legal framework is incorrect. So you have nothing left. And that's why, personally, who wants to be a guru? Who would want to be a guru anyway? To spout off to other people about, all this stuff. For what reason? For glory in a way, isn't it? It's not for any other reason. It's ego glory, even if it's dressed up as it is, and it is, because I've done that myself in stuff I've done, not as in preaching to people, but as in, oh, look at me, look what I know, look at this, look at that, and all of that has had to go because everything that I've ever learnt and thought to be true has shown itself to be a lie. everything that I've realised, real LIES, a real lie, all this realisation everybody's doing, what they're just building a lie on top of a lie on top of a lie on top of a lie and claiming it as a fact and writing books on it. So it destroys the whole concept. And the less somebody knows, it's much easier to accept that using the legal name is a fraud. The less that an individual's built themselves up as some sort of intellectual, the simpler it is to accept it. It's much more difficult if somebody's roaring around there with PhDs and degrees and all the other stuff.
Yeah, they got something to lose.
Well, they have nothing else, Kate. You see, the thing is that identity, that the demon that has been crafted onto them is much more powerful than the demon that's been crafted onto the non-intellectual, the person who's been sort of not really into society and all this sort of stuff, because it's always been a bit misty for that for individual. For the one who's bought right into it and gone chasing the illusion and the real lies sat on, the realization, sat on all those real lies and riding them around the reality, there is nothing else. Not when you take all those lies away. What are you, mate? Oh, look, at the moment you're nothing, but you are. But you've got to. It's that touching bottom, isn't it? Hitting that bottom of the.
It's where you get to the nothing to lose moment.
Exactly. Yeah, and some of these individuals that you mentioned, they've got in their heads so much to lose because everything they've been about, they've got to turn around and say, you know something, what I've been talking about for the last 5 years, 10 years is bullshit. All of it.
You see, one can be controlled if one has something to lose. What have I got to lose? You see, I got this thing about when you find the most important thing to do in your life, you just do that because it makes sense. And I don't see anything more important than doing this in my life. There is nothing more important to me. Nothing. So, I mean, it is what it is. It's going to be what it's going to be because this is the most important thing to me. For whatever reason anybody else wants to think of, I just can't think of one. I got to that point that what is the fucking point of playing on a goddamn evil plane to get destroyed? Please give me the point of that.
No
so
point.
Find me something more fucking important to do than getting rid of it.
Yeah, it's just a burnt-out wasteland. I mean, that's the visualization I've got of that thing. Anything in there, I just look at it now, and it's just charred, and it's just debris. Even though, in the minds of many, still, it twinkles for them. It's never really twinkled for me. I've never liked this world.
Apparently it's more important for people. Things in people's lives are more important than the destruction of evil that's killing them.
Yeah, and killing everybody else as well. So, again.
I like to go right to the source because the ego reacts to that. So I'll always talk directly to ego and those that are in the spiritual sense of things. You're going to get that truth anyway because you just proved it. See? You don't need to say it. I already know that. So the point of this is you're doing the very thing that you think is so important in your life that is killing you. And if you can prove to me that what you're doing is more important than destroying evil, that is destroying all of consciousness, I'd love to hear your essay. Because when you get to this point, the rest of this fucking game is pointless. And it's only when you see the pointlessness of this game as it is when you finally throw the gauntlet right in there. And you're not just a drop of water in that bucket. You are the fucking bucket filled with water all by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
No one needs to fill my bucket, and I don't need to fill yours. We've been sharing the waters of truth for all to partake of to fill their own buckets here. And everyone gets an equal share. So there's the challenge to everyone. Find me something more important than destroying evil that is destroying consciousness, and you'll have my rapt attention. You can tag me on that motherfucker, because I'd be real interested to know, because I can't find anything more important than you. So good luck with that. You find me something more important than you, would you? Help me out there. Really fucks the ego, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the difference. I just happen to think that you're just as important as I am. Huh. Imagine that. So I have nothing more important to do than what I do right here, right now, in whatever capacity I'm able to do it. Happy to be here.
You're breaking the spells, Kate, and that's and by being as diligent as you are, you're the individuals who are great people underneath the illusion. By what you've just been saying half an hour ago, is helping to break the spells that they're in, even if they can't see it now. That's the way that I would see it.
All credit of this existence that I call this existence goes to the importance of truth.
Mm-hmm.
That's where that energy goes.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's, to me, there is nothing more important than that, the truth itself.
And the truth is the ultimate spell. These are false spells that bind, are just that, false spells. If we want to be using sort of semi-magical terms, the false spells. So the truth is the real magic. That's the real McCoy. The other stuff is not. Isn't the real McCoy, and throwing those spells around as you do, and as we do, we in our own. I just feel it myself that this whole thing has shifted completely. So it'll be wonderful to see what materializes over the coming moments. It's because there's some real interesting times ahead for me to observe, and I'm fully on board with the operation.
Right, this is the joy of the game. See what you've done, and this is where people get real interested in it. Isn't it fun to go? I wonder what's going to come out of what I just did today.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're interested in your own fucking game, and you're real excited about it. And I love this. This is exactly what you need to do.
You're right, because it's fired me up. It's like, right, what's going on now with this?
Yeah, because now you were a cause point. So this is what happens when you do this. Yeah. You become a cause point, then you get real interested in your own game, and you kind of go, hey, check that out, earthquakes and everything. Yeah.
Exactly, and just looking on the BBC News site here, the main thing, is the party over for mainstream politicians, ? And it's got the three monkeys on there. So again, with the whole thing the party is over. Is the party over for mainstream politicians? Yep. It's over for all of them. It's over and done with. The party is over. So again, this is already it's been reinforced twice in the last 2 hours. And it was only instigated 48 hours ago. And there's still another 2.5 weeks till this false, fake, supposed election is going to take place.
Here's the visual. Here's the visual of the effect that you and Rose created together. Watch. You're both standing on the Rock of Truth. It's illegal to use a legal name. It's fraud. That's the basis upon which the whole system is built. And you noticed a pair of panties called the political system. And you ripped the fucking knickers off the political system standing on that rock.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's already now the ripples are starting to ripple through onto the what people call the mainstream. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The rippling in there, they're already talking about illegitimacy of politicians. Now they're talking about, is the party over? That's within 48 hours. And heck, there's another 7 times 48 hours to come before all these supposed illegal voters will turn up at the illegal voting stations to
turn up, pumpkin. It's all the same to me. Bunch of fucking tubers.
But Jane Doe's still got her legitimate legal vote to cast.
Yeah, well, we already cast a vote of non-confidence, and all those that know that they can step into Jane Doe-755, cast your vote. Exactly. No confidence in the world power illusion as it is set up? Yeah, me either. It's been fucking everybody. How can you have any confidence in evil?
So yeah, the spiral downwards of Babylon, and it's like we should play that Rut song, Babylon's Burning. It's a good song. It's only 2 minutes. I like it. The whole one thing, it sort of just fires me up a little. It don't fire me up, but it just sort of ties in nicely to the whole thing, doesn't it? Really. Babylon.
Isn't it fun?
It's great. It is great. Yeah, and it's just so fluid, and also there's There's no doubt attached to it. There's nothing being done wrong. There's no guilt. I'm not. So what I'm trying to say is that there is. It is an untouchable position, and it's not one. There isn't. And I'm ringing the Electoral Commission up because you're a bunch of cunts. There was none of that going on. I'm ringing the Electoral Commission up because what's going on here is. There's something that I've realised, and I do need to make you guys aware of it, and I'd like to know what you're going to do. Simple as that. So that's, so again, it was, for me, it's crafting this intention and losing this vengeance, which I know you speak about, but it's something I've been working on before you spoke about it. It's just the way forward, really. It's the only way forward. I understood that everything that ever manifested in my world, there's always a start point, and the instigator's me. I might not see clearly prior to the event occurring. The boomerang might have been thrown out 3 or 4 years ago. When it comes back and clunks me on the back of the head and I blame somebody else, if I track it all the way back, I can track it to an instigation of me. So I understood that concretely about 18 months ago. I knew it before in a way, but I really understood it concretely in every particular situation. And that is a real powerful tool for me to remove any idea of revenge or vengeance. Now there is another idea.
Okay, well here, let's keep it light, and let me paint a picture of what it is that phone call was that you had today. So here's a visual. I see it. Here's Jay walking up to the dragon, and the dragon opens his mouth, and you step right in, and of course the dragon's a little shock on, and it can't close its mouth because it needs to breathe, and the next thing you know is the tongue's all tied up, and you've taken a Thor's hammer and you've knocked out every tooth of that dragon as you're standing in there, as you're telling the dragon, literally shoving it down the dragon's throat, and the dragon can't say anything because you've knocked all its teeth out, you've tied its tongue up in knots, and then you just simply walk away, and there what you got left is a Gumby dragon. No teeth, can't talk.
Yeah, no dentures in, like one of those denture adverts.
Yeah. So you see yourself walking around like in the movie. There's Sean Connery as the dragon, and what's his name in there? Taking that the knight's arm out from between the dragon's teeth. No, in this case, what we're doing is we're throwing the bone of truth up. What was it? The Rancor can't close down on this one while you're in there knocking its teeth out with a sledgehammer, and its tongue is tied in knots. This is the power that you wield. And when you know that you're walking in like that, this is the truth that lets you do this. See, there's no need for vengeance. Hey, I've had my beautiful dances with these Gumbies, okay? And I've went at it from my perspective of going after the dragon, because that's what I do. I like doing that. I'm a dragon slayer. I love it. And I'll play the hardcore. And you've heard the calls. I don't fuck around. And I don't fuck around in a very different way than how you didn't fuck around today, Jay. How Ninja or Shock doesn't fuck around in their own way. It's just a different way of not fucking around. I just like having a bit more drama to it to enhance the picture from the perspective that the egos need to see it from. That's all. Mm-hmm. Step into it and step out of it. So you're basically going down the dragon's throat.
Yeah, dropping the information in there, and outcome is irrelevant really, because the outcome will be what the outcome is, and the outcome will be the right outcome. So that's with that knowledge, it's fine, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, you know how to make a dog swallow a pill, right? It's easy. You put your hand in the dog's mouth, throw the pill in, and the dog has to swallow while it's trying to close its mouth because its tongue is moving around, so it swallows it. It's very easy to do, and that's all you're doing is you're grabbing the lower jaw of the dog and you're throwing the pill in its throat, and then it swallows it. That's it. Mm-hmm. I know. I've had to do that with dogs myself, my tiny little dogs. Which, don't kid yourself. They bite. They bite real good.
Yeah, but it's the right remedy as well. Just drop the right remedy in there, and it'll sort itself out. It'll do its medicinal work, won't it? So
exactly. So you are prescribing the T cell
The Doctor Who, exactly, Doctor Who.
Doctor Who. Yeah, you're the Tarsus, baby. Start throwing some Tarsus feathers on.
Here comes the TARDIS.
Oh yeah, I was watching Tarsus, a Roman thing. It's all good. Oh, here before we roll out, we only got I guess about 10 minutes. Another series that just started up called The Messengers. I watched it last night. Its first episode's up, and prepare to have your universe melted.
Well, where did you watch that, Kate? How did you find that?
Everything that I speak of, I download at icefilms.info. Billion Uploads is gone. MoveReel looks like it's gone now too. The only one that's left is 180 up. For me, that's the fastest, and you don't have to sign up anything. Is 180 upload. Pain, and it might take you a little bit to learn how to use the pages because it's pop-up. And I don't want technical fucking advice on pop-ups, guys. Okay? The instant I say something like this, there's like a dozen fucking posts. Oh, if you get, I'm not interested, monkey fucks. Keep your intellectual IT shit to yourself. I do my shit the way I do my shit. Fuck off. If I need some help, I'll ask. I can find the movies just fine. And so can somebody else. If you want to help somebody, text them. I'm good. Anyway, fucking annoying. It's like, oh, yeah, you're the tech whiz. I get it. Oh, look at you. Whatever. Yeah, I'm going to spend hours fucking downloading programs to stop this. And when it takes me 30 seconds to do I can do 30 seconds to get a download. Sure beats going to the fucking store to buy the movie, doesn't it? That's how I see everything. I don't have any complaints. Oh no, pop-ups. Oh God. Apparently Danger Will Robinson in the fucking techie world, but anyway. I don't care.
Well, I found the messages here. Season 1 returns. A mysterious object crashes on Earth and a group of unconnected strangers die from an energy pulse it emits, but then reawaken to find out they've been deemed responsible for preventing the impending apocalypse. That's the one, yeah?
That's the one, and it's a beautiful mirror. And isn't it funny that every one of us that dropped a legal name died? See, that's the first death.
Yeah.
You don't suffer the second.
The subject is a legal name. The mysterious object is a truth of the legal name. A group of unconnected strangers, that's the Emerald Table, die and get... The energy pulse is the legal name, the truth of the legal name. Yeah, and then awaken on the Emerald Table to find out they've been deemed responsible for preventing the impending apocalypse. Good, eh?
Well, see, here, we're not preventing the impending apocalypse. We are the apocalypse. That's the mirror of it. Apocalypse means unveiling. It's a leather covering. We've taken the skin, the leather, off the meat.
Also, we want the apocalypse, yeah?
Yeah, we don't want we are the we are Revelations, John.
Yeah.
Okay? You are the apocalypse. You are the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. You found the 4 faces of yourself within. All of these allegories, what you were saying about, say, astrotheology or whatever, that is just one piece of a very large puzzle. And people have become experts on pieces of the puzzle.
But what I'm saying there as well, just sorry to interrupt you, but what I'm saying there is this, that it's based on bullshit anyway, because we now know that the Earth is not a spinning ball. We now know that the lights in the sky are not suns. We now know that the planets are not proper balls. We now know that
I hear you.
So what I'm saying is, if you build all your knowledge on that, then actually you're talking bullshit anyway. Even if it's knowledgeable bullshit about bullshit, it's still bullshit.
And truth. Don't divide them.
Okay.
It's how you look at them. That we learn to use them from the understanding we had at the time, and now we have a different understanding of it and can see it clearer. That's all we've done.
Okay.
It's. I wouldn't be able to connect what I do connect without it. So contained within all of the bullshit were the truths that we went out.
Yeah.
Not in the literal sense. I'm agreeing with you, and I'm showing you that it's not about that it's wrong in all senses. It is merely wrong in its context of being presented the way it is, but it is still This is the test of the eye call. These are your true testicles. Can you see the clues? Can you see the signs? And
and I can see that what's presented as one side of it. Well, actually, that's not what it is. There is another side of it, and it has meaning that I don't fully understand. So I can't say that I know. What I can say is, I'm sure there's plenty of meaning up there, but I don't specifically know what that little light in the sky means. Ooh, it means that. I don't know that.
Well, I don't
know that. But personally, I'm talking about now.
Yeah. From where I sit right now, in my own understanding, I can prove astrotheology is absolute fucking bullshit and absolute fucking truth at the same time. What we've learned to do is take the razor through the middle of it, to cut all the bullshit away, to see the clues for what they are. And the threshold that people cross, there it is again, the magical threshold. You will never see beyond the literal if you are still trapped in the literal legal world. You are legally, literally dead. Understand that it is illegal to use a legal name, and that was how you were duped into being controlled. Then you're going to start seeing the other side of the threshold. That's when you'll stop. And all you need to do is get the idea. You just got to get that. You just got to know that. And it crushes all of, but I thought they were all so, that was the idea, to make you think that they were so benevolent and doing the right thing for you, and all your dreams and hopes are dashed because you voted for them? You believed in them? Yeah, we had to go through that too. It's okay, we got over it. Yeah. Dummy me, oh well, won't do that again. Not so stupid now, are you, smarty pants?
And that's it. That won't happen again. So that spell is completely snapped, gone, finished. And,
you should feel as bad about this as the first time you were asked what does 1 + 1 equal, and you actually didn't know. But now you do. So you answer. So the value is in the lesson. And this creation reality bullshit around us has been focused only on the failure. Oh, look, you did something wrong. No, you did something to show a contrast of what was the right thing to do, and you took that choice and went from there. Where you've been programmed with all the wrong ideas to deliberately make you do wrong things so that you would always feel guilty about doing something wrong when you had to be taught to think that way, literally. And that's not your natural state of being. You know that in your own heart. The only question you need to ask yourself, would you willfully go out of your way to harm someone and steal and cheat and do all these other things to deliberately harm someone? Could you do that?
I don't think you can. I don't think anybody could do that when they're not the legal. When they're not the legal name, I don't think they could. I think it's an impossibility.
That's where the trap of vengeance comes in, because only vengeance could motivate a true heart in that direction.
Yeah, and that is a difficult one. For sure, it's a difficult one because there's still frailty around us, isn't there? So talk myself here. So I thought
you gotta take your time. You just got to breathe a little bit on this, guys. You've been so hard on yourself because you've been conditioned to be hard on yourself in all the wrong ways. Definitely be hard on yourself, but do it the right way this time. Know that everything that you think you did that was wrong, good. Glad you see that you see it as wrong. Are you going to do it again? No. Okay, guess what? There's your contract with truth. Are you going to do it again? No. Then don't. And guess what?